Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 World Tour. We are finally back in this series. It's been about a year since we recorded anything. We're picking up from where we left off in Aberdeen, Scotland. You can see it's very cloudy. This is live weather, live time. It's currently 11:43 a.m. on Sunday, May 7th. That's Eastern Standard Time, 11:43 a.m. So it's probably about 5:43 there. Or 4:43. I think we're going to have to change the weather. I have a separate playlist of live streams where we're using real weather, but I like being able to actually see things when we're flying. So we might actually change the weather to clear skies here. We're picking up where we left off. It's 4:44 there. We're going to turn off the live weather, go clear skies. We're going to try to fly over Balmoral, the Queen's Scotland vacation estate. That's where she actually passed away, I think. But it was her vacation location in Scotland for many years. And then we're going to try to get up to Inverness, see Loch Ness, then fly south to Glasgow, and maybe even get down to Northern Ireland, to Belfast. We'll see some of the Cairngorms National Park if we do fly over Balmoral. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Balmoral. That's how we're going with. We'll see Loch Ness when we get up to Inverness. We'll also see the Abernethy National Nature Reserve. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing some of these. But we're going to listen to some podcasts, as we always do. I have a couple Tony Kornheiser Show podcasts that I need to catch up on. I think they are from Wednesday, May 3rd, and Thursday, May 4th. So we'll start with the May 3rd one. But let's fire up the engine and get on our way here. And here is the Tony Kornheiser Show from Wednesday, May 3rd.
Previously on the Tony Kornheiser Show.
No, but slow play is bad.
Yeah, it drives people nuts.
Slow play is bad. You know, if I owned the golf course and there was slow play, I would walk out with a checkbook and I would say, how much money did you pay to be initiated into this golf club? I'm writing you a check. Get off this course and never, ever walk here again.
This is General George Washington, and you're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
And if you think that is harsh, if you think I'm the only one who would do something like that, we have this email from our friend Jeff Pickett, who says, your check writing solution to slow play made me think of Bob Parsons of PXG fame. PXGs are those clubs. We only sell them ourselves. They're the best clubs. PXG clubs. A lot of pros use PXG clubs. Legend has it that at Scottsdale National Golf Club, which is owned by Parsons, of which Wilbon is a member, it is owned 100% by Bob Parsons.
We have to play that short par 3 course.
Yeah. There is a policy by which one member is voted out every year. Presumably, this could be for slow play or other boorish behavior. Here's the kicker. The voting includes club members and staff. Would love to see this standard applied at other 1%er hangouts. Also, it begs the question, if this were the standard of Columbia, how would you fare? I think I'd stay because I play fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I play fast and I'm chatty. And I don't throw clubs. I'm not, I don't have any disciplinary problems. I don't get drunk, in the course. I'm pretty good, right? I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Played 18 yesterday.
I love that you assume everyone plays at a private club. What'd you pay for your initiation? Here's the check.
Oh, well, no. I would do it at a public course.
Yeah.
How much for the day round? Here's the money. And here's an extra 10. Get out. Slow play. Get out.
2 prices. Play under 345, you get a discount. Play over? Oh, sure.
That'd be fine.
Program.
That'd be fine. So, I played yesterday. I was so fortunate yesterday. It has been raining in Washington, not heavy rain, but significant rain and significant drizzle covering, 16 or 18 of the 24 hours of the day in the last 3 or 4 days, right? Fair to say.
Like a heaviness hangs in the air.
Yeah.
But to be fair, through the first 4 months of the year, we were in a pretty significant drought.
So I'm okay with it. but I never thought they would let carts out of Columbia yesterday. And I got the email in the morning, course conditions, it said no restrictions. I didn't trust it. I called the course, called the pro shop. They said, better get over here in a hurry. Because you never know when they're going to lift it and put the restrictions back on. And I got to play all 18 yesterday. We played in 2 hours and 53 minutes. 18 holes, 4 guys in carts. And it was lovely. And when I was coming, 15 is a blind tee shot. It's an up tee shot. You get to the crest of a ridge. I can't hit it over the ridge, can't even hit it to the top of the ridge anymore. And then you have a shot facing down, into a green, into like a bowl green. And who do I see as I come up? I've just hit my second shot, which I thought was a really good shot.
It was going to bounce up.
Yeah, I thought it was going to get on the green. I liked it a lot. Hit a 5 rescue. Who do I see but my son in the sand trap area practicing?
Yeah, practicing. Dad's wearing his full beanie. It warmed up by that time, but you were cold on the golf course, and he gave me the full Forrest Gump wave.
Yeah, and so I was so happy to see him.
That's great.
It made me so happy, and it was a wonderful morning. It was a totally unexpected morning. We have something to play for you. We got this from Rich Johnson, who writes, I'm not sure exactly what the crowd was chanting about 2/3 of the way through the second quarter of the Seattle DC XFL playoff game. Was that in DC by any chance?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Was it?
because DC plays in Audi Field, a 20,000 seat stadium that usually hosts the soccer and sells it out. They apparently do very well. I guess the DC franchise, I don't know anything about it. The DC franchise has done very, very well. Here's what play-by-play announcer Tom Hart said.
And the crowd engaged in a hearty lecheeserie to the folks from Seattle.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
What? Well, nobody was saying lecheeserie. He just said that.
He just said that.
And we find it, and we, of course, highlight it.
Yes.
So that's the disappointment in my life that I went on the PTI show the other day and praised Maureen Dowd, and she hasn't contacted me. I went, come on. What are you talking about? Praise Kerry Russell yesterday. Fully expecting a contact. But Tom Hart.
Yeah, that's great.
Play it again. Which is so great.
And the crowd engaged in a hearty lecheeserie to the folks from Seattle.
Just wonderful.
Well, the DC has history with Seattle and football playoff games. That's true. We're usually on the losing end of that. But hearing that and just seeing the amount of people who are going to that, what I would call a boutique inside the city stadium, it's a reminder of everything that we've lost as soon as they moved out to FedEx Field.
Yeah. And it's right next to National Stadium. Not right next to it.
Right, but you now have an influx of young professionals who have the disposable income who can go to a game like that as an afternoon activity.
So we think it's about $20, $25 to go to a game like that?
I bet if you're all in to get into the arena and have a couple of beers with your friends, you're probably looking at $75.
But it's all the seats are good because it's only 20,000.
Yeah, it's a nice cozy stadium.
Let me tell you something that happened to me yesterday. Tracy sent me an email from a website called Awful Announcing. And I've seen Awful Announcing before. I'm sure they've ripped me a number of times.
Those are the Monday night years.
They just killed me. So, they say in it that Comcast has dropped the NFL Network and the Red Zone. They've dropped the Red Zone. So, I think you people know me well enough to know that I don't know how to do streaming. I don't know how to cut the cord. I don't know how to pick a la carte things that I want on television. I have no idea how to do these things. I'm an old man and I'm used to cable. And I pay far more for cable every month than I should. I pay like $260, $270 for cable, whereas I'm quite confident that if I streamed and only got what I wanted, it wouldn't be anywhere near that much money.
But it's impossible to get only what you want. Streaming is now the new cable where you have to buy up into all these, these upgrade packages.
So it would still be $260, $270?
When you start adding up all the secondary streaming services and then what's on top of those, and it's like cable where you can't get away with it. Like, you need to have local sports, and you need to have, to this point, you needed Red Zone.
I need the Red Zone. The Red Zone is the most important sports channel in the United States of America. If other sports could do that, they would do that. The great advantage for football is almost all the games are played at the same day, and people make appointment to see them, and you can do it because they're structured 6 or 7 games in the early window, 4 or 5 games in a late window, and then you bleed into the Sunday night. It's a brilliant concept You're going to cancel that. Who's running Comcast? Ari Melber? Somebody doesn't know anything about sports whatsoever? You can't. Now, this panicked me yesterday.
I think you're sort of missing the larger issue here, which is the NFL Sunday Ticket was sort of up for grabs, and YouTube made a big play for it. So now this is going to be exclusive to YouTube TV. So that's going to drive all the people to YouTube, and it would be easier to maintain whatever few streaming services you want, or like a basic cable package. You just wish you could look at them and be like, well, add my regional baseball and give me access to a couple national games, bundle that with the YouTube TV, and that's easier to know exactly where you're going.
I've never seen YouTube TV. I don't know what it is.
You haven't been a chance.
I don't have, there's not a channel on my clicker that says YouTube, so I don't know how to do that. I just want the Red Zone at number 861 on Comcast, and when Tracy sent me this, I went insane.
Yeah.
I said, I will drop Comcast today. I will buy whatever cable system picks up the NFL Network Red Zone, with Scott Hansen. I will do that. McManus got on and said, I think this may be false reporting. That may only apply to the satellite one that Andrew Siciliano does, which I don't get. And then later in the day, Tracy sent me another link which purported that Roger Goodell called up, I believe the name of the guy who owns Comcast is Brian Golden, if you could look that up. I think that may be his name. It's Brian Gordon, Brian Roberts. Is Brian Roberts, maybe? Does that sound right? Owns Comcast, Brian Roberts?
Brian Roberts was the golf announcer.
And the baseball player, the manager. Yeah, that's the Brian Roberts, I remember. Owner of Comcast.
Owner of Comcast. So this was another story on Awful Announcing that Roger Goodell...
Brian Roberts,
thank you very much. That they had a phone conversation and now it's back.
Nice.
I don't believe any of this at the moment. And I'm stating that as fine a relationship as I've had with Comcast over X amount of years, if they drop the Red Zone, we kick them to the curb and we find the next thing that puts the Red Zone back on.
Good luck trying to cancel Comcast.
What do you mean?
It'll take forever. You sure we can't offer you this new deal? That's like the whole strategy.
The Red Zone with the Red Zone. That's the one I want.
Yes, the Red Zone. You offer me the Red Zone where I can press 3 numbers and get it, and I'll stay with you.
It'd be like driving.
Is it time for me to get streaming? Are you saying it's as expensive as everything else?
Look, you can break it down. I'd say for you, what you would probably end up doing is just getting the HD dog ears that you attach to the back of your TV. You get over-the-air HD local channels, and then you can try and find the packages that you need. Like everything with cable, this is why you're able to make a career on TV. People are paying for stuff they don't watch and never want to watch.
You don't want to watch me.
Scrolling.
No, I understand.
I will say for YouTube
you understand
TV,
this. You're born into this world. I am not of this world. I'm an
of the
alien
very
of this
narrow
world.
window where I was born pre-internet and then sort of have grown up in the internet era.
Right. So you understand these
But
things.
I prefer if you just give me a clicker and just say, let me go to 861, or I want to turn on the baseball game and I memorized where it is, rather than having to log in or remember passcodes to various streaming services.
I assume that because of Don Ohlmeyer, the answer to all your questions is money. But I'm trying to figure out why would you drop the Red Zone?
Doesn't make
the
any
Red
sense.
Zone. Everybody watches the Red Zone on Sunday. Even if they watch their own team and they are loyal to their own team, they are going back and forth to Red Zone, right?
Yeah, I just think, how much has the Red Zone changed? I mean, how long have you been watching Red Zone? About 10 years?
As long as it's been on.
So think about how long deals might have been in place where people are double dipping into various access of the Red Zone. So if something is up for grabs and I buy it, I want to make sure someone else is not able to use it as well.
And that's a lovely global view. And my view is more particular.
861.
It is 861. I want to press it.
Well,
I want to press it 1 minute before it starts so I can hear the music.
Yes.
It's all about the music.
I can get the Octobox. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. The Red Zone. One other question. Who is Lisa Kearney?
Lisa Kearney.
Kearney. She's on these FanDuel commercials.
Okay.
She does the thing where she interviews the people. It's a setup thing. So-and-so just won in the 3rd inning. And she asks them a couple of questions. Is she an actress? Is she a sports person?
Sports person.
She seems familiar to me, and I don't know
at
from
ESPN.
Yeah.
she did work at ESPN?
Yep, until 2018, it says, yes.
I don't know her. I've never met her. But she looked familiar to me. Okay, well now she's doing those commercials. And they put her name up When they put someone's name up, you think, well, I should know who this is. All right, we'll get out of here. Chuck Culpepper when we return. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is the Books ad. Let's face it, everyone puts their moms through a lot. I know I did. So don't let Mother's Day slip by this year without getting her something great, like farm fresh flowers from Books, which is short for bouquets, in case you didn't know. And we have a great deal for our listeners. You use the promo code TONY, you can get 20% off. You can give Mom regular Mom's Day flowers or make her day with spectacular flowers from Books. Michael brought Books over yesterday.
It happened, they heard.
Oh, that's
So we
fantastic.
finish the show, I get home, I have a package waiting for me. Books flowers, I bring it over. Dad immediately recognizes the box. I see Mom begin to light up. The flowers were beautiful.
Very lovely.
And more than that, there were 2 bouquets in there, so we got to bring one home. And my boys are now old enough where they're scheming for Mother's Day. And this is a big part of that.
So that's great for Liz. Books is different. Their flowers are sourced directly from the best farms and cut fresh. They last way longer. They even have flowers grown on the side of a volcano. Books offers a huge selections of unique designs you'll never find on those other sites. Pick our favorite tulips or lilies, or send a bright and beautiful bouquet to make up for those gray hairs you gave her.
I believe we had the Cali package, one of the best sellers.
Very lovely. We have some. Michael said you can take both. I said, no, take one home to Liz, of course.
I got that taken care of.
Mother's Day is May
Check.
14th.
Both moms.
Don't let it sneak by. Order your Books now. And while you're there, check out their flower subscription so Mom feels your love all year long. You know, BOUQS. Books.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
It's always good when Michael Granberry sends an artist for us to listen to. And he writes, in my ongoing quest to introduce you to the country's best indie songwriters, I'm thrilled to bring you the music of Heather Aubrey Lloyd, who makes her home close to your own backyard. Born in Baltimore, Heather calls herself a recovering journalist. She once worked as a reporter for the Baltimore Sun, but left 20 years ago to pursue a career in music. University of Maryland alumni, has spent the last 2 decades playing what she calls bait shops, biker weeds, and clothing optional resorts all over this great land. Now she's a welcome fixture on YouTube. She describes her musical influences as a mixture of Janis Joplin and Joni Mitchell, with a voice as full and passionate as it is vulnerable. The combination of that voice and Heather's writing place are in the pantheon of female singers proud to have made Baltimore their home. It is, of course, quite a list, extending to Billie Holiday, Tori Amos, Toni Braxton, and Cass Elliot. And I didn't know all that. This is a song called Even Now. And you know, as Jackson Brown says, but that girl can sing. I know, that girl can sing. She plays in Chuck Culpepper. Chuck wrote a great story the other day about visiting the resting place of the late great Secretariat and how many people visit the resting place of the late great Secretariat and how many people in charge of that were born after Secretariat passed. It was a great story on the 50th anniversary of Secretariat's Triple Crown. And before I ask you a question, I'll just reminisce a little bit. In 1973, Secretariat, I believe Ron Turcotte was the jockey, won the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown by defeating a horse called Sham. Sham, I believe, finished second in the Derby and second in the Preakness. And then in the Belmont, Secretariat ran out, won it by 31 lengths, the greatest triumph in the history of big-time horse racing, and broke Sham's heart. This broke Sham's heart. I mean, Sham, you know, horses know who's beating them. You know, horses can't add 12 and 15, but horses know who's beating them, right? Broke Sham's heart. The biggest regret in my entire career in journalism, my entire career. I was at Newsday at the time, and Newsday sports editor was Stan Isaacs, who I dearly loved, and he put together a team of 10 or 12 people that were going to cover every inch of that Belmont Stakes in anticipation of this Triple Crown. And I wasn't on the team. There was no story for me. I didn't get to go to the Belmont. I didn't get to do anything having to do with it. So I sat home and I watched it. And I will tell you, as I've told people forever and ever and ever, it's the single greatest thing I've ever seen in television. And it's just so great. I mean, the horse goes out and kills it. So I bored you. Chuck probably left. He probably wasn't on the line. And I thought you'd like to hear that story, you know? Because, I mean, I'm one of those people that has that fondness for Secretariat, and you ran into those sorts of people, right?
I did, and I had a lot of questions for you about that, like how you spent that evening, morning or whatever. whatever, that you hadn't been there. I kind of expected you to say that you were there. We're both.
I wanted to be there.
Alums.
Yeah.
We were both. Yeah.
I wanted to be there. I didn't make the cut. And so I watched it on TV and spent my whole day waiting for it. Because I don't think there's ever been, well, certainly in my lifetime, as great a sense of anticipation for a race as for that. When was that the first Triple Crown in X amount of years, right?
25 at that time. And
Yeah.
that's always forgotten, because then we went from, 78 to 15, which was longer, of course, 37 without one.
Yeah, but there were three in a very small period of time.
Yes.
So, and in those days, horse racing and boxing were really major sports. And if you could cover horse racing and boxing, that was a way of saying to your friends, I'm good. I've made it. And I didn't make the cut. I did not. So, anyway.
Well, you were awfully young.
Yeah, but the other guys at Newsday were my age. No, I didn't make the cut. It's okay. So, but I want to ask this. How do you explain, and you've seen it firsthand, the worship of the horse? Was it his looks? Was it his owner? Was it the romance of that period of time? How do you explain? You've had to grapple with this.
So I do find it really curious is how it's held on so strongly for 50 years. The movie helped to some degree, I think, especially for people who were not born at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the foremost matter in this is how it looked and how human memory works and how that just the sheer power of it registered somehow in the human consciousness, even if you go and watch it on YouTube or wherever. And I think that's the thing that is held, and it's that one race. And by the way, if you go look at the Preakness that year, he makes a move in there that's just absolutely just captivating.
Didn't he set records in every horse race? Didn't he set the record?
He holds them still in all three. And that's another, how in the world have none of those fallen in all this time? So that's another thing that makes it, makes it hang on the way that it does, this fascination. And then I often wonder about the name as well. I think the name, I can never figure out if the horse made the name so powerful or the name itself is so powerful, but it's a great name. And it's a name that kind of rings in the head, and I think by now, of course, it's a name that if anyone says it, it just means greatness. So, but I think above all the factors, owner certainly included.
Penny Tweedy,
Yeah, and people still put pennies on the grave for her, on top of the gravestone.
That was a lovely part of the piece they dropped because it was Penny Tweedy, who later remarried and had a different name when she passed. But they put pennies on the gravesite.
So there's a lot to it, but I think that look of how that looked. I used to have a T-shirt, and I bought two of them because I knew one would wear out, of course. But of Turcotte looking back down, he arches his neck and looks back down the stretch.
He's 31 lengths ahead, and
I barely even see anybody else.
I can't stress this enough. These are the best horses, the best 3-year-old horses in America. There's no mutts in this thing. These are really good horses. And this is the classic distance. This is the 1.5-mile Belmont. If it was foggy, Turcotte couldn't see any other horse. It's triumphant beyond words. I mean, 50 years later, I can totally recall it. I've never seen a sporting event like you could say, okay, Greg Norman choked in the playoff in the Masters, but this is a triumph the likes of which I don't know that we've ever seen. This would be like the Yankees playing a Little League team in effect. I mean, it's unbelievable, right, Chuck? It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. It's that one thing, I think, that holds this fascination alive the most. And, the great Tom Callahan once wrote a column in the Washington Post, I believe in 1993, on the 20-year mark, where I think in there he referred to Jack Nicklaus watching that on TV and just being, sort of fading down out of his seat onto the floor at the whole perfection of it. Because here's someone who had really pursued perfection in his life, and now he was seeing it.
So, I mean, I don't know that I said this, but if I were writing the movie and I was sitting in my living room watching this. I'd be on the phone saying, "Are you looking at this? Are you looking at this?" Because he draws further and further away, and it's a beautiful horse. Secretariat was a big, beautiful horse, and it was with each stride, he drew further away. It was amazing, right?
Right, and Jamie Coram, the woman who's painted a mural of him in Paris, Kentucky, and has painted the bottle of Woodford Reserve where he's on the front of the honorary bottle. She thinks that his composition and how he looked is part of it too.
Yes.
He's beautiful. When he runs, he's beautiful, and then when he draws so far away from the others. And also, think about that race. You're not supposed to move as quickly as he did in that race. You're supposed to hang on more. So
long race.
Defend yourself. Yeah, and it moved quickly. Didn't care. Was a machine.
Totally run into daylight. I mean, oblivious of everything else. Look, I mean, here's what I did. When ESPN, I'm old, so I had something to do with this. There was a wonderful series right around the turn of the century, a little bit before that, called Sports Century, looking back at the 1900s in sports. And it was orchestrated fully by Mark Shapiro, who filmed everybody and had all the comments and asked a bunch of people, and I was one of them. I made the cut on this, and this is before I worked at ESPN, to list the 50 greatest athletes of the 20th century. And Wilbon never lets me forget this, and I don't want to forget it. I had Secretariat 8th. It's a horse. It's a horse. 3 races. That's all. And I would have put Secretariat 2nd if I had any nerve. I mean, I felt you had to put Babe Ruth first because of what Babe Ruth did for sports. I mean, I felt the top 3 had to be Babe Ruth and Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. I mean, most people would sort of agree with that. There are other people in there. But I had Secretariat 8th. And Wilbon would say, "How can you do that? It's a horsey." And I go, because the triumphs were so amazing and so consistent. And it's, 3 races, right, Chuck, in 5 weeks. I mean, it tests you. It breaks horses, doesn't it?
Right. And to get that 25-year drought at the time with citation in 1948, that was a big conversation point in the whole country at that point. Everyone was kind of starved to see it again. And here is this thing that's so hard to do. And here's the thing that was done with such dispatch.
So you don't think it's dopey or ludicrous that people, still, I don't know that they mourn the horse, but that they want to go see the grave? You don't think that's crazy, do you?
I don't think it's crazy. It tells us something about people, I think, something that reaches into people maybe in a way that we can't even explain. And so I'm fascinated by it in that regard. How there are people who, now that of course the internet has come along since Secretariat died, and people who meet each other because they've been online talking about Secretariat, people from different parts of the country, and who retain this fascination for him and collect art of him, and I just find it, I think it's charming. Yeah.
The late great Bill Knack wrote 1,000,000 stories about Secretariat. 1,000,000.
Loved him.
I mean, he was the chronicler of horse racing in a different way than Andy Beyer, a much different way. And Knack was great about this. Are you staying? Are you going to be at the race? Are you going to be in Lexington for the race?
Yes, I'll be here. I'll be at the race. Yes.
So our friend Mr. Mallet, who paints for us, is touting this Japanese horse. Do you know anything about the Japanese horse?
Well, it's fascinating because the horses who win that UAE Derby in Dubai and that great cruise ship of a track that they have there called Maiden, those horses do not tend to fare well.
They don't win
in the Derby.
Nope.
They don't. They have. I believe it's 0 for 18 in just hitting the board.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So that's why you figure somebody has to break that at some point, and there are a lot of people who really know the game, who really like this horse in this case. But I think this is one of those deals, and until it's done, you're just going to have to write it off.
I agree with that. So when I started covering the Derby, it was like the 1980s, mid 1980s, early mid 1980s, and he would go to Lexington, and everybody stayed. What was the hotel? The Galt or something like that?
Galt House, right?
The Galt House. And that was the number one hotel that everybody stayed at. And in those days, now I'm going back 40 years, in those days, you know, you could get a room at a hotel for between $85 and $125. And I wrote a column once about how I always wanted to know what it was like to stay in a $300 a night hotel room, because that was really a lot of money in those days. I said I found out because overnight the Galt upped my rate to $325 for the exact same room because the Derby people were coming in. I said they changed the menu a little bit, but now I was staying in a $325 a night room. I felt great about that. Do people still, is that hotel still exist? Do you stay there?
I haven't stayed there. I haven't stayed there since the Derby in the 90s. So,
Right.
But it, you know, I used to live in Kentucky for 9 years, and people in Kentucky all over the state used to, you know, if your team made the basketball Sweet 16 high school, you know, big event and it was in Louisville, you wanted to stay there. You know, it was a dream of many.
Well, I got it easy. I just stayed there, and then all of a sudden they jacked up the rates the next day. Is Baffert still banned from the Derby? Is he in or out?
Yes, he is still banned.
Wow.
I believe this will be the last banned occasion, and then next year is the 150th Derby, and I believe he can be back then. But I double-checked that.
Of course, we're going to have Andy on the show tomorrow because we can't have the Derby without Andy Beyer. But do you have a horse that you're touting in this one, Chuck?
I love this horse, Practical Move, and the real hard boots don't really. They've sort of gone off since his win in the Santa Anita Derby, which was he had a cavalry in behind him in the stretch. He held them all off. But I fall in love with stories, and I just love, he has these two owners from Albuquerque who, a married couple in their 60s, and the wife and the couple, Leslie, used to train, and we went to interview her yesterday, and she trained horses as a woman in the 80s in Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. And I said, how did you get them to accept you? And she said, I just kicked their asses. So I'm really into that one.
Well, your stuff is just a joy to read, and I'm sorry to have monopolized this conversation with my own shabby little life, but I felt it would be fun. So,
well, I just need to say that I worked at Newsday. I loved it, and Stan Isaacs is lovable, but that was a staffing error.
yeah, that's how I say it. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Chuck Culpepper, he's a great writer, and he's lived everywhere. We'll be back with Richard Justice. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is the Game Time ad. Buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and the best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets, start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. I'm impressed with the images of the seat views.
Yes.
I mean, to me,
It's something you never knew you needed until they started providing it.
much like the red zone.
Right. Yeah, you didn't.
Right.
Before it existed, you didn't realize how much
So
you needed
the seat
it.
views is very good. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code TONY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code TONY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. This is good, right? You have this?
Yes.
I mean, this is good.
This is the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is once again Heather Aubrey Lloyd. And Michael Granberry writes, since becoming a full-time musician, Heather has racked up a slew of awards, which include Album of the Year from the Songwriters Association of Washington and the Emerging Artist Honor bestowed by the National Women's Music Fest. She journeyed all the way to the Rocky Mountains to capture the top 4 Telluride Troubadour Award. Plus, she was named the 2019 Grand Prize winner of the prestigious Bernard Ebb Songwriting Award. I wonder if that's Kander and Ebb, who wrote musicals. She gives her approval to play what I think are her 2 best ballads, I Don't Know What I Want and Even Now. This is I Don't Know What I Want. This is Heather Aubrey Lloyd. And Michael, if people like Heather Aubrey Lloyd want their music played on this show, how do they do it?
Send us your music by emailing it to jingles@tonykornheisershow.com.
And our great thanks to Michael Granberry, as always. Richard Justice is with us. You went on a trip. How was your trip?
It was wonderful. CBS Sunday Morning, I don't know if you watched that show a couple of years ago. They did a piece on Elizabeth and Sophie Minchili, who do food tours. And we took a food tour to Puglia. Stanley Tucci did one of his Searching for Italy segments. So 4 days in Rome and about 5 days in Puglia, and holy smoke, did we eat.
Was there any type of food or any certain dish where you said, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life?
Yeah, there was one dish called, I think it's called a sami. It's peculiar to a restaurant in Rome, and basically you take olive oil in a skillet, put some dried chilies in, and then put dry spaghetti on top of it. Cook it that way, add some marinara. It's crunchy, it's peppery. Sophie highly recommended we all try. It was a little group, 10 people on the tour in Puglia. We had Rome to ourselves. We had our own tour guide in Rome, and it's, I guess it's one of those things everybody should do once in their life. But they took us out in the country to Matera and Monopoly and all these places, and it was the Minchili women know what they're doing.
At any point at any of these dinners, did the Pope drop by and say hi?
No, but we got had a long. The thing about the Vatican is that you could go every day for a year and not be able to absorb it all. And our tour guide, an Australian woman named Caitlin Miller, by the time we got to the end of the Sistine Chapel, we were so overwhelmed with information that it was hard to appreciate it all. No, we didn't see the Pope, but I think in a morbid sense, the Pope had been sick just before we got there, and we're thinking, well, you know what we were thinking.
Yeah, sure. But
the Circus Maximus in Rome, where the gladiators fought and all that, Springsteen's going to play there later in the summer, and I think there's chairs for about 500 people, and there are going to be 150,000 people there drinking and standing, and it's not your scene and it's not my scene, but it's Bruce, so.
Yeah. Wow, I wonder if Liz will go to that one, or Sands. If Sands,
well, I don't know. The thing about the Bruce tour, this 2023 Bruce tour, is that the video of each stop is phenomenal. I mean, you feel like you were there. I've only been to one of the shows, but I've watched the Tampa show, the Austin show, but Tony, at the one in Houston, for about a month for Texas Monthly, I've been shadowing Greg Popovich, and. I know you don't like the guy. No. I love the guy. I love what he stands for. But he can be, what's the word? Cantankerous?
Yeah, okay.
At the Bruce show in Houston, I keep looking at the guy like 3 rows in front. They're bringing him armbands. They're bringing him shirts. And I'm thinking, I recognize that guy. And it was Popovich. And my wife, Marty, says, well, as he starts to leave, he's leaving during the last encore. She says, you should yell at him and tell him, hey, I'll be calling. I said, yeah, I think that would probably be the worst thing I could do.
Well, I'm glad you had such a wonderful time.
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Bryce Harper comes back in an hour and a half. Like, right? I mean, he has Tommy John, and suddenly he's back. He's playing. He went 0 for 4. Obviously, I watched the clips of that. But what are your thoughts of how quickly he came back? And by the way, this is an operation. What if he's on the bases and has to slide? Do you know what I mean?
Right. What if they get into a roster crunch in a game and he has to play first base, and he may play first base? Old scouts will tell you this: the great ones never get hurt. Now that's not exactly true, but it's more true than you think. The great players never get hurt, and also the great players are just woven together differently than everybody else. And that's never been more true of anyone than Bryce Harper. I've never been around a player that loved the moment, loved the spotlight. I've had great players tell me, I said, boy, I guess that was fun being up there in the bottom of the ninth. They look good. Get out of here. I hate that. Bryce loves that. And that's been true from the moment he showed up on the mall in Washington and played that softball game the day before his first game at Nats Park. And so, there's a story about Bryce in the Arizona Fall League. Bottom of the ninth inning, they're down by 1, and he's 18 or 17 or something. He tells the guys in the dugout, if this guy gets on base, I'm going to turn the lights out on this bleep. And the guy got on, and he hit a ball that no one has ever found. And he has everything we've expected of him.
Yes.
He's surpassed. Now, is he a Hall of Famer? He's not a Hall of Famer. He has missed a lot of time, and one of the challenges the Nationals had, as you well know, was to tell him, you don't have to play 105 miles an hour every night. You don't have to run into every wall, steal every base, because it's going to take a toll on your body, and it has. But he is one of those people that the other guys the guys on the other team stop and watch him take batting practice. There is an electricity around Bryce Harper, so the idea that he could come back in 160 days and bat, that's Bryce Harper.
You mentioned Hall of Fame with Bryce Harper. This leads me to something. Jacob deGrom, 1,300 innings, Richie. That's all he's pitched. Warren Spahn did that 3 years.
Right.
1,300 innings.
No,
is he a Hall of Famer? Can you make a case for him?
You can, Chris Russo has a formula where he goes through each guy. He simplifies it. Each guy's season, Hall of Fame season, not Hall of Fame season. And he looks for 10 of those Hall of Fame seasons before he declares the guy a Hall of Famer. So we're not there yet with any of those guys. Harper, how many, Koufax had a short career, right?
Yes.
And there's never been anyone like him.
Yes.
And so I think we're in that category with him in that, talking about Harper, he's won the MVP twice. Otherwise, he's never even been in the top 10. I think only gotten MVP votes one other time. When DeGrom goes out there, he's beyond great. All-Star every year, MVP votes, Cy Young votes every year. But you're right, he's started 215 games. Well, what's his career? He has
got
100
84
games.
wins.
He's won 84 games.
So, Sandy Koufax's limited career had 175 wins.
Yeah, and also Koufax pitched every inning when they gave him the ball. So, you're going to have to factor that. I would say in the case of both, now DeGrom is 34 years old.
Yes.
So we're pretty close to writing that story. In the case of Bryce Harper, will turn 31 in October. And so the next 5 years will tell the tale on what he's going to be. I wouldn't underestimate him. But I think somebody in The Athletic wrote this, Andy McCullough, that it's sort of sad watching Jacob deGrom pitch because he is at that point, he has been hurt often enough that every pitch he throws, while it may be as good as any pitch any guy in history has ever thrown, it could be his last. And the Rangers went into this with their eyes open. They'll be criticized for giving him a 5-year, $185 million deal and all that. But if you were a fan of a team, would you rather you would rather have the ownership take a chance and spend some money and say we're doing everything we can, as opposed to some teams there you may know locally that just say, see you later Trey, see you later Bryce.
That's right. That's you're 100% right. But and for bringing them up, of course, I'll bring up Strasburg. Strasburg's never going to pitch another game. He may pitch an inning, he's not going to pitch a whole game. Strasburg has more wins, Strasburg has more innings than deGrom, and they're the same age.
Yeah, Strasburg's a complicated guy. Like in the case of Corbin and Strasburg, what was the championship worth to you in 2019? They will always have that. They will always have that they stepped up in the biggest moment and were at their best, including in Game 7. You just have to factor all of that in. Strasburg has he has 113 wins, right?
That's 30 more than deGrom.
Right. And how many times has Steven Strasburg pitched 200 innings? Twice in his career. How many times has he been in the top 5 of Cy Young voting? One time.
Yeah.
One time in his career. So it's just not there. He's like Harper. He's one of those guys, you stop what you're doing and watch him. Remember those first games when he was pitching for the Nationals?
Yes.
You couldn't turn the TV off.
No, you had to
because
watch
you've never seen numbers like that on the radar gun. And you just thought this guy's best ever. But it hasn't, health-wise, it hasn't held up.
God, I'll get you out of here on this. I watched the Pirates recently because they took 2 or 3 from the Nats. Who's their manager? He looks like he escaped from someplace. Who is that?
That's Derek. That's good. That's a good one. Yeah, that's Derek Shelton. He's from the Tampa Bay, the Joe Madden managerial, the Andrew Friedman managerial tree.
Right.
And they're doing a great job. Like Baltimore is winning the traditional way. You look at all those kids they have, those kids. In the case of the Pirates, Ben Sherrington, the GM there, has made acquisitions, affordable acquisitions, and brought Andrew McCutcheon back, which has been wildly popular. Guys like they have young guys like Castro, Brian Hayes that everybody knows. He's from around here, but it's a different way to do it. It's a mixture. Where Baltimore is just saying we're all in with the kids. If you're 22, you're too old for us. Come on up. But it's fun to watch, and it's good for the game. But in a lot of these cases, as in Baltimore, you've lost for so many years that can you get the people to come back?
How do you feel? You covered the O's. You covered them for the Washington Post.
Yes.
How do you feel seeing how promising they are right now?
Well, Adley Rutschman's going to win an MVP. He's one of the best prospects ever, and so far he has fulfilled it. And he is one of those guys that when he walks in the room, he owns the room. But and so what you're seeing is fabulous. Mountcastle, all those guys, those young pitchers, Grayson Rodriguez. But Tony, there's more coming. Matt Holliday's son Jackson looks like he's ready. A kid from the University of Arkansas, Heston Kjerstad, he looks like he's ready. I mean, they are loaded. But again, remember, you go into this, you pay the price. You lose 100 games 3 years in a row, and in the case of Baltimore, there's a little the Buck Showalter era. Otherwise, they've lost for 20 years, and people find that they can live without it. Can you ever get them back? I believe the Nationals now have a higher attendance, and it's under 20,000 than the Orioles. Can you convince them to come back this summer in Maryland and make Camden Yards, a wild place again?
That would be great because it's a beautiful ballpark. That would be a really good thing. Welcome home. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Richie Justice, boys and girls. We'll take a break. We have email and jingle when we return. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show. The Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is the Policy Genius ad. If you have a family like I do, you know how much your loved ones depend on you. In a worst-case scenario, you wouldn't want them to worry about money. A good life insurance plan can give you peace of mind that if something happens to you, your family will have a safety net to cover mortgage payments, college costs, or other expenses, so they can get back on their feet and focus on what's most important. Policy Genius was built to modernize the life insurance industry. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $25 per month for $1 million worth of coverage. Some options offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius has licensed agents who can help you find the best fit for your needs. They work for you, not the insurance companies. That means they don't have an incentive to recommend one insurer over another. You can trust their guidance. There are no added fees. Your personal details are private. No wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve a financial safety net, and you deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. So head to PolicyGenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's PolicyGenius.com.
This is the Tony Kornheiser Show.
I love this. This is the actual Missouri marching band. It's just incredible that they would do this. It's a university marching band. It's a Big 12 school.
Graduation's coming up.
Are they SEC? Are they an SEC school?
I think
they're a big-time school.
Yeah, big-time school.
Big-time journalism program.
Yes.
They had to learn that. And they played it. It's simply fantastic.
It always reminds me of a bologna jingle.
Fantastic.
My bologna has a first name.
Bethesda Bagel.
Oh, Bethesda
Bagels.
Bagels. Got the hot bagels today. Very excited about that. We love Bethesda Bagels. You will as well.
Hot means they were cooked today.
They're cooked, fresh this morning. Yeah.
Very.
Still smiling.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Can't wait to divide these bagels.
Yeah.
Just go to BethesdaBagels.com for the location in the DC area nearest you. Then pop on in, and you will be thrilled.
Before we get to the mailbag, let me just say, Levon wears his war wounds like a crown. He calls his child Jesus because he likes the name, and he sends him to the finest school in town. Levon likes his money. He makes a lot, they say. Spends his days counting in a garage by the motorway. That's how Elton John says it, in a garage by the motorway. Thanks to our guest, Chuck Culpepper, Richard Justice. Thanks to our sponsors, Game Time Books and Policy Genius. Remember, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Odyssey. If you get the show through Apple, please leave us a review.
Doesn't feel like it, but it is spring here. We have a new Johnny O code for you.
What is it?
Rain?
TK5.
TK5. F-I-V-E. You want to guess why? Well, I could go for the old promo code of Tony K. We got TCAB when you go 5 wide. May, your 5th month.
There you go.
Or we're celebrating the 5 RBI from your favorite national, Dominic Smith,
He's
through
the
the month
worst.
of April.
He's the
gave 5.
worst player in the major leagues. He's the worst. He can't hit at all.
He's starting to hit the last 2 games.
He gets 1 hit a game. It just is meaningless.
Inconsequential.
He got a home run the other day. They were down 16-0. Okay, he got a 1-run home run. Okay. From Dina in Damascus, she writes, I don't know how many emails I've sent. I don't know what percentage of them were read, but I do know this. Up until this email, the number of times I've mentioned my alma mater is 0. Eat it, Elliot. Dina in Damascus, graduate of Cornell University and Johns Hopkins University, and episode number 53. This is aimed at Olshansky. Boom. From Steve Hansen in Maumee, M-A-U-M-E-E, Maumee, Ohio. Your reflection on Jason Taper's golf ball email had Dr. Seuss written all over it. Could it have been in a tree or in a bush no one would see? Or in the lake, for goodness sake, through tributaries by a snake, or buried in a trap you see, cause of OTG BIP? Regardless, it's a mystery that Jason Tapor posed to me. That's really good. Steve Hansen, that's really good. From Tyler Etchenkamp, formerly of Wayne, Nebraska, now Lincoln, Nebraska. It's about chickens. Wayne, Nebraska hosts the annual Wayne Chicken Show every summer. Dating back to 1981, festivities include the world's largest chicken dance, Halloween, a hot wing eating contest, and the National Cluck-Off, which is exactly what it sounds like, a chicken imitation contest. 2 winners have been guests on The Tonight Show. Yes, that Tonight Show. Once for Norfolk, Nebraska's own Johnny Carson, once for Jay Leno. So why do we do this? No reason. Seriously, we aren't a producer of chickens or eggs or anything. We just do it. Every year it's the bleeping chickens. Holy God almighty. From Alex Lau. I've been in somewhat of a slump with your show lately in terms of emails. Haven't been able to figure out why. I ask myself, am I no longer funny? Well, my ego wouldn't allow me to believe that I searched for other answers. Then listening to this last week of shows, it finally hit me. All you've been doing recently is talking about life on a farm, cows and milk and chickens. As someone from Long Island who has only otherwise lived in Washington, D.C., Hoboken, New Jersey, and New York City, how am I supposed to relate to any of this, as interesting as it may be? Get back to talking about the neuroses of city folks, so I have some material to work with.
City chicken.
From John Hutchinson in Duncan, British Columbia, a.k.a. the land of the great majestic soda bear. On Thursday's show, while reading an email describing the end-of-life cycle for egg-laying chickens, Nigel opined that it's not a great retirement plan. You replied, it ends badly, it does for everyone. Speak for yourself, pal. I don't know about you, but I have no plans to become pet food or soup. At least no plans known to me. The woman to whom I'm related by marriage may dispute this. From Carla Corrado. So disappointed that you talked about a small town in Ohio was Versailles, not Galena. Mistakes were made.
Yes.
She's great. From Mark Graff at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. I noted an Azores reference on Wednesday when you wondered about where some of the 36 billion chickens exist on Earth.
Yes.
While I can't comment on chickens in the Azores, here's another little-known fact about animals living among us. The Azores, my first overseas duty station with the Air Force, are not just 9 beautiful volcanic islands in the North Atlantic, but are known for having a more than 2-to-1 cow-to-human ratio. The island boasts hundreds of thousands of cows to only tens of thousands of people. One species is even considered protected because they're part of Portuguese heritage in the islands. So a 2-to-1 bovine to human ratio, that's utterly amazing. I'll be here all week, folks, with the bad cow puns. I think that's really sort of nice, right?
Nice.
Okay, a couple more. Chris Bancels in Forest Hills, Maryland. So let me get this straight. Someone corrects you once on the pronunciation of Versailles, Ohio, and it's no problem, but Lake Orion or Orion is still a mystery to you? Come on.
Yes, it is.
From Ryan Corlin, Charleston, West Virginia. In case anybody is wondering, Versailles, Ohio is roughly 100 miles and 2 hours from Galena, Ohio. This is the stupidest email I've ever written.
Well, it's information from
Steve Arnold, a relocated Aussie. Been in the States for 20 plus years, and I'm semi-retired in Prescott, Arizona. Big fan of the show, and the reason I'm in the USA, listens to your podcast on long car rides with me. About 15 years ago, while living in Charlottesville, Virginia, we were out at dinner. Got up from our booth, saw a green Kohl's shopping bag, C-O-L-E-S, one of the 2 major grocery chains down under, on the floor next to the neighboring booth. I said, been to Australia? To a young couple with 2 kids. No, we're Aussies down from the embassy in D.C. Oh, Where is home, I asked. Adelaide, South Australia, they said. I said, same. What suburb? Wattle Park. I went to Norwood High, which was next to Wattle Park. Some of my friends lived in Wattle Park. What street, they asked. Well, that was over 30 years ago. I remember a small, funnily named street, Loma Linda Drive. We live on Loma Linda Drive. Who was your friend? Mick Davey. He was a genius and went to a complete doctorate in mathematics in Cambridge in 1974. Haven't seen him since 1977. We live next door to his dad, Keith Davey. Of course. We exchanged emails and I finally caught up with Mick and had lunch with him in London a few years ago. Small world.
That's amazing.
All of these things are amazing. From Luke Reeder. My name is Lucas from Bentonville, Arkansas. Emailed once about bike helmet safety. And while in a Dallas coffee shop, we sat beside 8 men in Rivian jackets. That's that car that we talked about, the Rivian. As it was the only seat open, the person related to me by marriage and I had to endure what felt like hours of them talking about their charging habits and how much their lives have been changed since making the switch. They made Subaru drivers seem palatable.
I need that jacket.
From Mark Becker in Silver Spring, Maryland. I woke up this morning, I looked at my alarm clock. The number said 5:11 and all I could think of was not very good. I've been listening to your show for far too long. From Jim Coleman. Not that Jim Coleman, no. Thanks for reading my email. Made my day. One thing, the Wayne, Pennsylvania, where I live, is one town west of Villanova, outside Philadelphia, not Wayne County. Not important, but I thought I would let you know. From Peter Jennings. Not that Peter Jennings. Always enjoy your dialogue with Barry's for Luca. But you guys came to the conclusion that Washington, D.C. is currently the worst city with 4 professional teams. Sorry. But as a native Michigander, it hurts me to say it's not even close. Detroit is hands down winner for being losers. All 4 franchises are just awful, with no hope in sight. And please don't say the Lions have turned the corner. They are a jinxed franchise. Okay, none of them made the playoffs.
No.
But the Lions beat the Packers on the last Sunday night game of the season, knocking the Packers out. And it looked like the Lions had turned the corner.
Yeah.
Whereas nothing has turned the corner in Washington. They're still headed down in Washington.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. From Ryan Coral. Didn't we just read from Ryan Coral? It says, it rained in Charleston, West Virginia today. Please tell Pablo. And he writes, chance number 2 for Tony to get the joke. I get the joke. Pablo's my son. I get the joke. We used to tell Michael, it rained. You know, I get
Still
it.
have the voicemail.
I get it.
Block by block updates. It's the best.
And one more. From Bill Keister in Kensington, Maryland. Really, Mr. Tony, when prompted by your son to, quote, name one trip you enjoyed when we were kids, which for most humans would presume that you went with your kids and not just a trip you took during the time when your kids were in fact kids. But you fumbled for a moment to come up with a baseball game, which is both not a trip, but it's also well established you would spend these baseball trips in press boxes, leaving your children to fend for themselves. I imagine being watched by an usher named Eddie, whom you met that afternoon. But after that, you immediately thought of a lovely work trip to Portugal. You didn't specify if your kids were there, but if they were there, their presence certainly had no impact on the pleasant memories of eating olives. This felt like the time Sarah Palin was asked where she got her information from, and she fumbled for minutes to come up with the name of a single source. All she had to do was name a newspaper. Perhaps if there had been a pony ride on one of the family trips, it would have popped to the top of your memories. Enjoy Ingleside. On your bike tonight, everyone, to wear white. That's the nastiest email. I'm saying to that.
And the crowd engaged in a hearty lecheeserie to the folks from Seattle.
All right, we are flying over Inverness and about to fly over Loch Ness. So keep your eyes out for Nessie. Just a quick note on that email being read on the previous Tony Kornheiser show. The guy from Wayne, Nebraska. I grew up about 30 miles from Wayne, Nebraska, and I'm very familiar with that chicken show. He's talking about, now he said there's no real reason for them to do it. A town in between where I grew up and Wayne, Nebraska did have a large egg plant with a ton of chickens. It was my first job. So there is at least partially a reason for that region to have a chicken days. Anyway, we now move on to the Thursday, May 4th episode of the Tony Kornheiser Show, as we fly over Loch Ness.
Previously on the Tony Kornheiser Show.
He was pitching for the Nationals. You couldn't turn the TV off. You've never seen numbers like that on the radar gun, and you just thought this guy's best ever, but it hasn't, health-wise, it hasn't held up.
God, I'll get you out of here on this. I watched the Pirates recently because I took 2 or 3 from the Nats. Who's their manager? He looks like he escaped from someplace. Who is that?
That's Derek. That's good. That's a good one. Yeah, that's Derek Shelton.
The Tony Kornheiser Show is on now.
So, of course, I watched the Nats last night against the Cubs because I want them to beat the Cubs because of Wilbon.
Of course.
So I'm a little late to the game. The game starts at 7:05. So I'm getting on it at about 7:15.
It was already 1-0.
Oh, yeah, I get a text from Chuck Todd, and the text just says, "Who is this guy pitching?" So I turn on the set, and it's a guy named Irvin, Irvin. So I write back, Irvin Magic Johnson. And then we go back and forth for the entire game. One of the highlights of the game to me was Dominic Smith. The Nats are down 1-0 in the third of the fourth.
Yeah.
Dominic Smith comes up with first and third, nobody out. And of course, doesn't really deliver much. First and third, nobody out. But a run comes in as he hits into a double play.
A good time to mention our Johnny O promo code of TK5, celebrating all 5 RBI from the month of April.
He has, and so I assumed he got an RBI because a run came in, although he killed the inning. Because you go from 2 on and nobody out to nobody on and 2 out.
Yeah, Josh Belden.
But then, right, that's exactly right. And it drives me crazy. And I go back and forth with Chuck and with Saliza. Saliza's also involved in this, and which I just say, he plays every inning of every game. He's terrible. Why is he on the field? But I assumed he had an RBI. I looked at the box this morning. He did not get an RBI for that. Can you explain that, Michael? Because we went over.
This is just something that we Googled for you just to try and get clarity. A batter does not get an RBI if he grounds into a double play and a run scores. But this would be different than, hit by pitch or bases loaded walk.
Yeah, you get it for that. I thought you did. I thought if your at bat brought the run in, I thought you got that. So I had that wrong. So he's back down to 5. He doesn't even have 6 RBI.
Did you see with the 9th inning?
No, but apparently Finnegan made everybody nervous. He got
2 hard hit balls.
Yeah.
Interesting play at third. You try and get the double play. They do not get the out at first in time. But he was able, next pitch, he was able to get out of it. But pretty stressful.
The Nats,
as stressful as May baseball goes for a last place team.
When they took out Irvin, Irvin was in trouble. He had 2 on and 1 out or something like that, and they brought in Ramirez. Ramirez, second pitch, ground ball, double play. So the double play helped them last night. I thought that Finnegan got out of with a double play too at the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the double play ball helped them last night.
Did I see that?
And then they're playing this afternoon. Greg's going to this game.
This is the
Greg's game. He's got good seats.
Yes.
It was cold last night. Were you there in the 7th inning? Did you see Dan Coco's jacket?
No.
They did a shot to him. They tossed him.
It was cold.
It looked like he was up in the upper deck. Jacket was tight around the neck. He looked like Darkwing Duck.
Is that right?
Just standing over the city.
Yeah. So.
And didn't I see that the kid? I think this is his debut. His first pitch, he hit a guy.
Yeah, well, he threw it up in the end or something.
And then he calmed down after that pitch fairly nicely for you.
Yeah, he got to establish the zone.
Yeah, exactly. Back off that plate.
He lasted into the 5th, and he'd only given up 1 run. I mean, that's for a guy who's not a huge prospect. He's not Cade Cavalli,
right?
And he's not Mackenzie Gore. So that was good. I wanted to mention that because this is all I do is watch baseball till I start to yawn, and then I'm done. And that's early because I'm old.
Yeah, games are going fast.
That's great to know that the games go. I always like when I begin to get tired. I look to see what time it is and what inning it is to see if it's working. We have PTI tomorrow. We have Theo Epstein on. Wilbon of course loves Theo Epstein, as he should, because he brought a World Series championship to the Cubs as well as to the Red Sox. But Wilbon goes on television every day, as Nigel knows, and says baseball gets everything wrong. Baseball gets everything wrong. He's not going to say that to Theo Epstein because Theo Epstein's behind all of these things.
Yes.
He's going to say, Theo, this has been great. You've been brilliant. But every day he says baseball gets it all wrong.
Yes, he says that phrase a lot.
I am going to say that to Theo Epstein. Wilbon says you get it all wrong all the time. What do you want to say to him? I'm going to make sure I say that, even if it's not in the script.
Theo Epstein, just pick the date you want to be in the Hall of Fame, and we'll accommodate you.
Absolutely.
You walk in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So, in the style section today in the Washington Post, if you get it online, you can access it from anywhere. If you get it like I do, where you subscribe and it's delivered, then it's probably only in the DC regional area. There's a big story on Luke Russell. The style section has a big story. It's written by Carol Vogt. I am unfamiliar with her. And it talks about Luke's new book, which came out yesterday, I think. There's a book party for Luke next week.
Yes.
The name of it is Look For Me There, Grieving My Father, Finding Myself. Carol has read this book, likes it very much. I tend not to read books by people I know. because I'm a hypercritical human being and I don't want to be for people I know, so I tend to stay away. Maybe read about 20 pages and just say, great, because you don't want that from me. I'm your friend. I'm your friend. So
Read the book. I think it'd mean a lot to Luke.
I will try to read some of it. I won't go the whole distance.
So you're not going to leave a review on Amazon?
I am not going
Where
to
the book is trending?
He's done very well.
Yes?
Yes.
So it's a
He's like
gangbusters
number
stuff.
one, I thought, on Amazon.
I saw him post something like that he was number
That's
one.
lovely.
Yes, it is. It is.
Good for him. So we'll have him on the show. Of course we're going to have him on the show.
Did you not read all of Simon the Sea Cat?
I did not, because you're my friend.
Did you read the sequel?
Is there a sequel?
No, because sadly it doesn't end well for Simon in real life. So.
Okay. So let me get to this thing. Our friend Matthew Abbottball, he owns a running store in Evanston.
Yes.
And he sent you, Michael.
Yes, the Bondi 8s, which have been helping my arthritic knee.
Okay, so he sent him a pair of hopes.
Self-diagnosed.
Says, hi, Tony and team. While listening to Monday's podcast, there was an email read about Hoka and zero-drop shoes, and Tony expressed interest in an explanation in regards to zero-drop running shoes. Zero-drop shoes did indeed become more popular back around 2008 and 2009 as brands like Ultra and Topo, who specialized in zero-drop footwear, were established and quickly became increasingly popular. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a craze. Zero-drop shoes are an option available to people who suffer from certain ailments, need a balanced cushion where there is no drop, or simply want something that is more natural but don't want to walk the earth completely barefoot. Most traditional running shoes vary between drops of 4 millimeters up to 12 millimeters. Brands vary in their offerings, but usually offer a variety of drops to capture as many customers as possible. Nearly all Hokas have a 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter drop. I have read this to you faithfully. I don't understand a word of this, just so you know. So if you're a runner, you probably do. The most important thing to keep in mind, Matt writes, is that all these things exist and each person's needs are different. Zero-drop shoes may work well for some and not for others. Traditional running shoes like your New Balance 990s may be fantastic for you and cause issues for someone else, while Michael's Hokas may not be the best fit for you, and so on. The best way to know is to be properly fitted for shoes by an expert at a local running shop. And while doing so, make sure to ask for a bag of liquid IV, a pair of loose underpants, or a supply of infinite crab mallets with your shoe purchase. Ooh, that's funny. So does that sound correct to you?
Sure. I know nothing about this, but I have been told that if you are changing running shoes, you have to be careful, because I think if you make too big of a jump, that could lead to more issues.
When you say running shoes, are you talking about people who actually run in these shoes? I can't run 2 steps anymore. I'm too old to run.
So that's
I've
the
lost
problem.
them.
Like, you used to call them sneakers.
I wear them as sneakers.
Right, okay, so there'd be a difference between like sort of a fashion sneaker and a running shoe that is primarily used for running versus even just like a city shoe. So when you see me wear the shoes that have no tie laces, that is more of just an all-day walking shoe.
Right.
I would not necessarily run in that, whereas I might do so in like Brooks or, your
Well, the New Balance that I have, I use as shoes. I use as walking because I don't run anymore.
Right.
I walk the dog in them. I
so
do
that's
everything.
more of a running shoe, but you've also had New Balance shoes that are a little bit wider, and they look like more of like a cross-training shoe for all those weights that you lift.
I don't know.
Would these shoes be good for the kicking in the pool?
No, there are certain things called pool shoes.
Oh, really?
You can actually get things called pool shoes where you walk at the bottom of the pool in pool shoes. Everybody I know who takes all the aquatic classes has these. I walk in the pool, I don't have them. Every single time I walk, somebody says, why don't you get these shoes? I go, I really should.
Are these like aqua socks?
I guess. I don't.
Oh, those are wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have
it's like
them.
form-fitting on your foot?
I need them.
Okay.
I need them.
The next- so
There's
the
another
boys-
one. This is from Joe Schultz, from Pacers Running. So he's a runner. I've been waffling back and forth about reaching out since I heard questions about Hoka a few months ago, and after yesterday's show, I decided it was time for me to send you an email. I've worked in a local run specialty store in the DC area for 15 years, and have seen brands and technology update and change substantially over that time. While it is true that low drop or low offset footwear can cause your legs, Achilles, calf, and hamstring in particular, to lengthen a little more with each stride, it also puts your leg and foot in a more natural position. When you are barefoot, your heel does not naturally rest higher than your forefoot, and lower drop footwear aims to create a more natural position while providing cushion underfoot for impact protection and support to cradle the arch and heel. Again, more than I've ever known or cared about with feet. I care about this with feet. Do they hurt? If they don't hurt, I'm good. Your New Balance 990s have a standard 12 millimeter drop offset, meaning your heel rests 12 millimeters higher than your forefoot. The New Balance Fresh Foam Moors Michael has have a 4 millimeter offset, as well as a rocker geometry. And most Hoka shoes have a 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter offset, confirming what Matt said. I hope that clears up the info for you. Additionally, getting properly fitting and supportive footwear that matches your feet and needs can be tricky. At my company, we specialize in specifically fitting each customer who comes through our doors with just the right shoe for them. This involves a quick conversation about the use of the shoes, any pains or problems the customer has, a quick analysis to determine the arch profile, length of foot, length of arch, and width of each foot. I'm just going to add parenthetically, this is fantastic. When I go to stores out in Rehoboth, I am treated by someone who has no interest in me whatsoever or my needs and just, says, okay, and I hand him a box of shoes and he rings them up, or she rings them up. I've never had this happen to me. This sounds great. This is followed by observing how the customer walks without shoes, so we can see how each foot impacts the ground and moves through the stride. With all of this info, we then select a shoe that should pretty much match well with needs as we see and understand them. You lace those up, walk around, give us some additional thoughts, we observe and check the fit, and pull 2 or 3 more that should absolutely nail it. If you're running, we also have a running component to the analysis. The whole thing takes about 30 minutes for a fit. I'd be more than happy to host you, Nigel, Michael, and or others in one of my shops, off hours if preferred, to help you find the best solution on me. If you have any notes from a podiatrist, physical therapist, or other medical professional, I also incorporate those into the fit. Side note, Pacers, where I work, is the store that did the Gulf Relief 5K way back in 2005, where you in Carville, I remember this, kicked off the race because Bonnie sent me a picture of this, before it started. Anywho, I've been listening to you for years. I remember PTI coming on the air at ESPN. You've been a staple in my life. I appreciate you and the rest of the team. Thanks for all the laughs and entertainment. Isn't that nice?
That is.
So, they confirm each other, the Matthew one and the Joe one.
Yeah, getting more information with each entry. I can't wait for Ross Weber from Keen Footwear to text me a little bit later.
But shouldn't we do this then?
Sure. I've worked with Pacers
avail
before.
ourselves?
I've done that thing where they sort of observe you and the shoes that they recommend for you.
You go in the observation room.
Yes, yeah, for a variety of reasons.
I feel like I'd be too nervous to run or walk in my normal way. I'm more of a bouncer when I walk.
Right.
I'm very self-conscious about my gait.
Well, I think everybody should.
To me, this sounds a lot like you can go to a grocery
it's hard
store.
to do this with Matt because he's in Evanston.
Right.
Well, yes.
You can go to a grocery store and pick up anything you want from the meat counter, and sometimes they have someone who's cutting chicken or cutting steaks for you. Versus going to like Hickman's, where you can talk through the process, where the meat was sourced, how you want it.
Can I ask you a question about food?
Is it about the prices year to year?
It's about price. Why are organic blackberries so much more expensive than regular blackberries when I can't taste the difference?
Yeah, I think some of that's just marketing. I think there are regulations as to what makes it an organic
It's
label.
$2 more.
Yeah. I would say the big thing for you is as you cycle through different grocery stores, and I know you're not going to do this, but there's certain stores that you go to for produce, very specifically because that is such an expensive proposition.
It was still at $5.49.
Yeah, how is it that the bear snacks that my kids want for dessert have gone up like $1 in price in the last 6 weeks?
I'm tired of hearing about food chain supply. I'm tired of hearing about that because everything is here.
Yeah.
We're getting the blackberries from. How far are we getting them from?
Yeah, let's see you walk this one back. Where do we get the blackberries from?
Okay, but
Well, I don't know where they.
last year the blackberries didn't cost this. You know what? Yeah, I'm being hoisted on my own.
Do you ever buy grapes?
No, I'm
Grapes,
not
aside from meat and/or wine or that type of beverage, is the most expensive thing in
Grapes?
my cart. Yeah,
Really?
grapes.
Like which kind do you get? Do you get
I get the green
ones or the red ones?
seedless grapes
Yeah,
because
green
the green
seedless.
tend to last longer
Yes.
than the red.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Is that
So
right?
if you get a nice red grape, nothing better.
Yeah. Yeah, but they go faster. Yeah.
How did we lose the train of thought on sports in this show and end up?
Great win by the Celtics.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take a break. Tim Legler, talking about the Celtics. Tim Legler will join us when we return. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
This is the Tony Kornheiser Show. Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is the Sunday read. If you're like me, you love spring, but you may not love figuring out how to take care of your yard. Does anyone else just stand there in the nail store looking for a worker man or the store leader and wondering where to start? That's me, and that's where Sunday Lawn Care comes in. Sunday is everything you need to get the lawn you've dreamed of. This spring, go to sunday.com/Tony. Enter your address. You get a customized plan created just for your lawn. No trips to the store or hauling heavy bags, since they ship straight to your home. You just need a hose to apply Sunday. You can fertilize your whole lawn in less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite TV show. And they only use ingredients you can feel good about. No harsh chemicals, no long waiting periods, or trying to keep your kids and pets off the lawn. Simply apply, let it dry, and you're back to enjoying your yard. Sunday is easy and affordable. Some lawn care services cost more than $1,500 a year. But Sunday's full season plan started just $109. You have this, right?
I do, yeah. We're in grass growing season right now, which is awesome because the boys are out there a couple times after school playing baseball, trying to hit ropes into the electrical pole.
So, but you're happy because the stuff that is applied to your lawn will not hurt them in any way.
Yeah, and this is the time where we start going out bare feet, so you want them to feel safe and comfortable.
Now, limited time, Sunday is offering listeners to this high-quality podcast 50% off your first box. You can get started today for as little as $55. Wow. When you go to getsunday.com/Tony and check out. That's 50% off your first box at getsunday.com/Tony. I would try this. Honestly, I would try this.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is a group with an interesting name. At my age, it's troubling, to be honest with you. Hanoi Ragmen. I mean, I'm too old to not think of something very specific when Hanoi is in the title. Hanoi Ragmen are 6 talented friends from Alexandria, Virginia, who played together since middle school. Published one EP, one full album of rock and roll songs. On April 1st, 2023, the 35th annual DC Whammy Music Awards awarded Hanoi Ragmen's album, The Old Life, Best Rock Album, and their song Foolhardy, Best Rock Song. That's wonderful. This is Foolhardy. This is the song that is so good. And it plays in Tim Legler. And I remember when Tim Legler went on television for the first time, basically, right, with George Michael. That was the first time ever for you on TV, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right, man. That's right.
Now you're a TV guy. It's not that hard. You know, it's not that hard. You can do it. Tim was great with George Michael. Just great. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy doing the TV?
Yeah, I do. I love doing the TV, particularly with the NBA. Unfortunately, because of so much that goes on in the regular season, the regular season can be a little bit of a grind because there's so many guys that aren't playing on given nights when you're looking forward to covering important games. Postseason, totally different. So yes, this time of year, I absolutely love what I do.
I'm going to assume, but maybe I'm wrong, that the biggest surprise to you so far was Milwaukee losing to Miami, or am I wrong on that?
No, you're 100% right. I mean, Milwaukee was a team that I picked to get to the finals before the season, and they had, again, like every team, I feel like in the league, they had guys out throughout the year, so there was sort of an ebb and flow to their season. But once they got everybody back and healthy and ready to go, I know Giannis missed a couple games in that series, but he sort of turned it. I still thought down 3-1 when he came back that they were going to win that series. So for them to go out the way they did and really allow kind of Jimmy Butler to just dominate them to that extent, that was very surprising to me. I thought that was a championship caliber team, and I didn't think we had very many of them this year.
Me too. I agree with everything you said. But I will say, and when people talk about great players, and Jimmy Butler is not necessarily mentioned, but he is a great playoff player, Tim. He's just great in the playoffs.
Yeah, he is. He has the ability to take his offense to like a totally another level, and it's very hard to do. Usually by the time you get to the playoffs, you kind of have a pretty good feel for what guy's ceiling is offensively. His is, during the regular season, his is a guy that picks his spot. I watch him some nights in the regular season. He'll go 6-7 minutes in the first quarter, not take a shot, just be out there kind of facilitating, easing his way through it. And then he's always pretty good late in games in the regular season. But to have a 20-point first quarter in a game that they have to have, you say, well, how does that happen? Where does that come from that a guy can elevate his game offensively to that level? But he's a competitor, and I guess he just needs the ultimate competition to bring that out of him.
And it always makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, is he withholding his talents during the regular season? He's so great in the playoffs. In 2 games where, again, they played against Antetokounmpo, and they won both these games, he had 56 and 42. Tim, who gets that? Nobody gets that.
Yeah, and Tony, it's crazy because if you went around the league and you looked at teams that had top flight perimeter defenders that could guard Jimmy Butler, Milwaukee's got as many as you're going to need. They got Drew Holiday, they've got Giannis, they've got Chris Middleton, who's a very good defender. They've got some other role players that are excellent defenders. So you're talking about doing that against top flight guys too, and getting on these roles where like every time he leaves the floor to shoot it, you expect it's going to end up going in, and it's got this flat trajectory. There's zero margin for error. He's got no arc with his shot, and it's just the precision with which he does it is very Kawhi Leonard-like when he's at his best, and that's not something that you see from Jimmy Butler during the regular season.
It's been amazing. As long as we're going to talk about Antetokounmpo, I'm going to ask you this. I'm on the record on this one. I would not have voted for Embiid for MVP. I would have voted for Antetokounmpo because Antetokounmpo's team finished 2 places ahead of Embiid's, and every single time they played against each other, Antetokounmpo's stats dwarfed Embiid's. Embiid's a great player. I'm not knocking Embiid. I would have voted for Antetokounmpo. How about you?
Yeah, I was leaning toward Embiid, and it was a three-man race. Excuse me, pretty much all year. And again, throughout the season, it's interesting, this award, and it's different now. When I first started working at ESPN, you didn't really talk about the MVP until March or April. Now, they want to know in November who's the MVP of the league. And so all year, that name for that award is different, and different guys jump out of the gate. Like it was Jason Tatum, clearly the first 2 months of the season. Then it was Giannis, like over the holidays into January. Then it was Jokic, felt like it was him leading up through to the All-Star break. But from the period of time from late February until the end of the season, Embiid was the best player in the league, and the Sixers had the best record in the league over that stretch. So it's very much a momentum award, and Embiid got the momentum at the right time because that's when you really start thinking about it, coming out of the All-Star break, and he grabbed it at that time. And so it was going to be difficult for someone to wrestle it away from him unless he went down for a sustained period of time with an injury, his team started to lose games unexpectedly, or his production, for whatever reason, dropped off for a month. And none of those things happened. So I did feel like he kind of controlled it. And for me, at the end, I thought it was he and Jokic were sort of in this neck and neck. And what kind of tipped it in his favor in my mind was the impact that he has defensively. And it's just remarkable some of the stuff that he does on that end of the floor that you don't notice because he's putting up these huge scoring numbers. So I thought they got it right, and I'm glad, Tony, by the way, that he got it because I do a lot of Philadelphia sports talk radio all season, and they were obsessed with Joel Embiid getting this award. I can't even begin to tell you how tired I was of talking about this award. So now that he's gotten it, hopefully I won't have to do that anymore.
Well, you make a very good case for him, a much better case than I would make for Antetokounmpo. I would ask this, because Wilbon and I talked about this yesterday. Embiid played last night. Now, Boston drilled Philadelphia, as most people expected would happen with or without Embiid. And Philadelphia's great because they stole home court, and they go back 1-1 back to Philadelphia. Would you have played Embiid? I would have. Wilbon said he would not have even let him go on the trip.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I can just tell you this. Knowing the nature of that injury, he felt pretty much normal.
Okay.
And if he feels normal, play him. Because here's the thing about this, the first 2 games, and we always talk about it all the time. Get the split, right? You got to get the split. You did your job. It's 1-1. Go home. You stole home court. Here's the thing, though. The timing of the split matters a lot. So if you're the road team and you get the first game, great. If you lose that second game, now that team that's the higher seed, they just won a game. They feel much better about themselves going into your building now on the road, right? It's different if the road team loses the first one, which you usually expect for the most part.
Right.
The higher seed's going to win that first one. And then the road team gets the second game. Now you have that great feeling about yourself as you go home. So it's really not the same. And I think that's what the thinking. Look, he says feeling normal. I'm telling you right now, he wasn't feeling any pain or stiffness in that knee. And if that's the case, play him. Because to go up 2-0, you put a stranglehold on this series.
I agree.
If you lose the game, Boston, like they did. Not only did they win, look how they won. Now Boston feels great about themselves going back to Philadelphia. So for me, it's not something you predetermine. It's how do you feel? You feel pretty normal. There's no pain, stiffness. Your lateral movement is not limited in any way. Then you're going to play. Now you might keep it out for 2 weeks. So if you want to say, hey, he's going to play 25 minutes, that's fine. But you don't just automatically say, no matter what, under any circumstances are you playing, even if you're telling me you feel great. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Nor to me. Let me move over to the Warriors and the Lakers. This is the best the NBA has in terms of fans. Fans want to see these two teams.
Yeah.
If you're the Warriors and you make 21 threes and the other team makes 6 and you lose this game, what are you thinking? That's the exact script you want if you're the Warriors. Make a whole lot of threes, win the game. What do they think?
Yeah, it's listen, here's what it comes down to in that series. It's if Anthony Davis is that engaged and that impactful and powerful and just uses his size and skill and athletic ability to the extent that he did, and I thought actually his defensive presence was even more important than what he did offensively. He had 30-plus points, grabbed 23 rebounds. It was his paint presence, because not only did he block shots, it's after he started to either block or deter or alter everything that came near him, guys just stopped going. And when you start to play a game where you think something is taken away from you, some area of the floor, man, is it a lot harder to play basketball when you have to play one very specific way. So it's a problem for them. Now, I think they're banking on the fact that, hey, maybe he's not close to that good every night. And if he's not that good, then those are nights that the Warriors believe they can win. And so if Anthony Davis is, sort of up and down throughout the series, they feel like they're going to have a chance if he's not completely ready to go when he gets to the arena. And hasn't been all the time. And I think that's kind of what they're counting on. Here's the thing, though. If I'm Steve Kerr, here's my message to my team, Tony. Look, they couldn't possibly, that's the best Anthony Davis can play. He can't play any better than that. And we were in a one-possession
We were tied. We were tied late in the game. Tied, yes.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of what my message. The other thing is there's going to be massive adjustments on their part because of the way the Lakers were defending he and Steph. And it's the kind of thing that defies all defensive principles about seeing the ball in your man and help defense and all those things, because you're literally face guarding these guys away from the ball. And that was pretty effective for most of the game. And then they put the ball in Steph Curry's hands later in the game, then let him bring it up the floor, get some screens, get free, get some space. He got into his rhythm and he got loose on them. So I'm very fascinated tonight to see, do they do that from the beginning of the game? And if they do that, what's the Lakers' then adjustment to him handling the ball and coming off ball screens? Because they didn't deal with that much in the first game. So the whole thing is going to be very fascinating. Two very different styles and ways of beating you. And in the first one, Anthony Davis was by far the best player on the floor. The Lakers got one.
No, and I give them all the credit in the world because the other team did nothing wrong. Golden State played well, and they still lost that game. I'm glad that the game starts at 9 tonight. I mean, if I'm the commissioner of the league, and this is the best I've got, I'm saying to TNT and to ESPN, we're not starting at 10. We're not playing that stupid game. We're gonna start earlier and get the East involved. I'll get you out of here on this. I ran my yap early in the year about when Durant went to Phoenix, and I said they were automatically the best team in the league because I think that much of Durant. Was now 3 of 15 from 3 in the first 2 games. And Chris Paul's doomed. He's got hurt again. He gets hurt in every playoffs. I'm not going to win with them, am I? I'm not.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. And I want to tell you, I also felt like when they got him, I knew it's not something that you just fix, that you just implement him overnight and the next day you wake up, he's the best team in the league. It takes time to find chemistry and rhythm together, but he's probably the easiest player in the league to assimilate to any situation because you can just drop him in with 4 guys and immediately they're much better, and he doesn't require you to do anything to alter your offense or the way you play for him because he's that good. He just does it efficiently. He knows, hey, go ahead. You can shoot the ball 6 straight times, Devin Booker. I know that I'm good enough I'm going to do my thing every night. So I felt the same way you did, that once I saw them for a month, I was going to be convinced that's the best team. That's the team that's going to be in the finals. And right now, with Paul out, putting the ball in Booker's hands as point guard and, give me 35 while you have it. That's a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I'll say about Durant, Tony. They got outplayed both games against Denver. Kevin Durant so far since he got there in the playoffs, he's only been their best player once. They didn't bring him in there to be, the second best
That's
player,
right.
Kevin Booker.
Right.
So tonight or whenever they play tomorrow night, it's got to be a Kevin Durant game. Like, he has to be as good as Harden was the other night for Philly. He's got to go against Jokic and even with Booker and his own team. And at the end of the game, we've got to be talking about Kevin Durant's greatness, and we haven't done that yet in the postseason. So he has to have a signature game, and it's got to be game 3 to get them back in it, but I still don't think they can win this series without Chris Paul.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Thank you so much for being on. I know we don't ask too much, but I'm really grateful when you come on. Thank you, Tim.
Anytime, Tony. Yeah, anytime. Anything you need.
Tim Weber, it's just wonderful. We used to do the George Michael show together. It's 100 years ago. I may have had hair. No, I doubt it. We'll take a break. Andy Beyer will handicap the Derby for us when we return. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is the Rocket Money read. Have you ever heard the phrase, try it free for 30 days? Sounds great at first, but that's just enough time to try it and then completely forget about it. In fact, over 80% of the people have subscriptions they forgot about. You could be wasting money not even realizing it. Rocket Money helps you find those forgotten subscriptions so you can stop paying for ones you don't use. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. It's like a teacher. Yes, right? It's a teacher. That's very good. Rocket Money will quickly and easily find your subscriptions for you, and for any you don't want to pay for anymore, you hit cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. It's that easy. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/TonyK. That's rocketmoney.com/TonyK. And once again, rocketmoney.com/TonyK. I understand why people need this. Not everybody is like me. Not everybody looks at every single bill and asks people in the house, what is this? It's like $3. What is this? Where does this come from?
Yeah.
Most people just have these things. Most people Michael's age,
yes,
right? They
auto pay. Let it roll.
Yep. Right. So so most people. I may not need this because I'm obsessive compulsive, but most people do.
This is the Tony Kornheiser Show. Tony Kornheiser Show.
Once again, these are the Hanoi Ragmen, and this is a song called Animalisms. They're good. They're good. I have trouble with the name because of my age,
right,
but
understandable.
They're good.
Yes.
Michael, if the Hanoi Ragmen or people like the Hanoi Ragmen want to send us their original music, how do they do it?
Send us your music by emailing it to jingles@TonyKornheiserShow.com.
The first Saturday in May is the Kentucky Derby Day. And we have Andy Beyer on before the Kentucky Derby, and we have Andy Beyer on before the Preakness, and we have Andy Beyer on before the Belmont. And why do we do that? Because I know Andy forever and ever. I love Andy, and Andy invented Beyer speed figures, okay? You didn't invent them. Somebody in your family didn't. No. Andy invented them. So he knows what he's doing, all right? So here we go. Let's start with this. Bob Baffert is still banned, right? He's still banned. What do you make of that? What are your thoughts on Baffert?
I think that Baffert was somewhat made a whipping boy to show, how vigilant Churchill Downs is about the integrity of racing. He used a medication that's that is sometimes that is legal, but we're used it outside the legal limits. I don't think he deserved to have his to be become public enemy number one. There were guys in the sport who were like really corrupt and got away with it for a long time, and the industry didn't do anything. But they had after his horse got disqualified 2 years ago, they had to do something conspicuous. So he's on the sidelines, but he's the greatest trainer of our time, and when he comes back, I think he'll come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, it loses glamour without him. The horse racing business loses glamour. This is exactly the same. This is when a substance is both legal and illegal, depending on the dosage. This is Max Scherzer with the rosin. This is the same thing. What do you mean? Things can't be legal and illegal to me. They can't. There's got to be something more finite about it than this. All right. So a friend of our show is George Mallet, and he's a beautiful artist, and he's on television, and he loves horse racing. And he told me about Flightline before I'd ever heard the name last year, and he is on the Japanese horse. Derma Sotogake, is that how it's pronounced? Are you on this horse?
I am.
Really?
Well, for a couple reasons, Tony. One, just on his own merits. The horse had done all his racing in Dubai, but then, there are two big money races in the winter, one in Dubai, another in Saudi Arabia, and he won the Dubai race, the UAE Derby, by 5 lengths, and the time of the race was exceptional. Now I'm a little hesitant, to translate it into a buyer speed figure, because three years ago there was a horse named Mendelssohn who came from Great Britain who won that race by a big margin. I said, geez, we'll make a figure for this, and published it, and he got a figure of 106. He's the top figure in the Kentucky Derby, and he lost by 70 lengths. So that chastised me a little bit. I don't want to announce a figure, but then let's say there is no doubt that Derma Sotogake ran an outstanding race, and I would say it was a faster performance than any of the U.S. horses have delivered.
Now, Andy, nobody who's ever won that UAE Derby has come back and won the Kentucky Derby, right? Nobody's ever done that.
That's true, and the Japanese record in the Derby is 0 wins in 148 years. But there's been a really interesting phenomenon in world racing. I mean, the Japanese horses used to be a laughing stock, and over the last couple decades, their industry has gotten stronger and stronger. They've got good horses. They've got a ton of money over there, and they are starting to win major races around the globe. They've won the big race in Hong Kong. They've won the big race in Dubai. They've won the big race in Saudi America. They've done extremely well in Australia. I mean, and these are all serious racing countries, and I believe they would love to win the Kentucky Derby. I mean, this could be the real race that cements their status. But I think that Japan is poised to eclipse both Great Britain and the United States, as the power of world racing. So there's more about Derma Sotogake than just his own merits.
Okay, all right. My friend Eddie likes a horse called Skinner and wants to box him with Fade and Maj or Majay. You like Skinner?
I He will. He was one horse I would use in an exacta. I mean, he's 20-1 in the line. He's got a much better chance than that. He's run well in California this winter, but with kind of tough trips in both his races. So he's a horse to throw in for a price.
That's good. So I had this general question for you.
Okay.
This is the first year that sports betting has really taken off nationally with all these commercials. You can bet on anything, anywhere. Has the general availability of sports betting had any effect on horse racing, where there had been betting for 1,000 years?
I'm sure it has. I mean, it's kind of hard to quantify or judge just how much it's affected it. I mean, the overall betting numbers in racing are down, but there are a lot of factors contributing to it. But these are not horse racing's golden years, that's for sure.
Right. Now, how do you feel about sports betting? How do you? Is there a purist point of view? Is there somebody who has bet on horses for so long that there is a purist point of view about other people now betting on everything?
Not at all. I mean, I always want to have some action when I'm on the sofa on a Sunday afternoon in the fall watching a football game. I mean, I'm not serious about it, but I love to gamble. I would never make any anti-gambling pronouncements in public.
Okay. And I appreciate that. We had Chuck Culpepper on yesterday. He wrote this great story about Secretariat, where Secretariat rests, and I'm sure you read it in the Post.
Yep.
This is the 50th anniversary of Secretariat. What are your thoughts on that horse relative to the horses in your whole life?
Probably, on his best day was the greatest of all time in this country. He came, just as Dermot Sotogake is coming along at a time when Japan is in its ascendancy. Secretariat came along in the golden age of American racing. I mean, the fact that within a few years of him, we had Seattle Slew, Spectacular Bid, Affirmed and Alydar. So he was part of a great period in the sport, and I mean, all those horses were tremendous. I mean, I just look back on that whole decade, with kind of breathless admiration. I mean, Secretariat was probably the best of them, but Secretariat against Spectacular Bid, could have been a real battle. But I think the thing that cemented Secretariat's reputation was that Belmont Stakes, where he won by 31 lengths. It was probably undoubtedly like the single most breathtaking performance by a horse we've seen in this country. I guess he deserves the status in history that he's got.
I would get you out of here as we always do. Pick a Derby winner. Pick a 1, 2, 3 for us. What are you thinking right now?
Dermot Sotogake, Skinner. There is a second Japanese horse in the race by the name of Continuar that I was going to emphasize in my betting, but he has not. According to all the wise guys who've seen him, he is really trained poorly here. I'll throw him in just as suicide insurance.
Fantastic. All right, we'll talk to you before the Preakness. Thanks, Andy.
Bye, Tony.
Andy Beyer. He's the best. All right, he's the best horse racing person in the world. He is. He's the best.
And those recommendations he just gave out,
yeah,
He's going to bet on him for himself.
Oh, he will bet on him. I have been in press boxes with Andy. When Andy says he's betting and he goes to the window and I'm with him, he bets on the horse he says he's betting on.
Yes, he does.
He's love him. George Mallet must be so happy about this. We'll take a break. We'll come back with email and jingle. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show. The Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is appropriate over Scotland.
Donald McPhee from Alexandria, Scotland, on the bagpipes in honor of the coronation of King Charles.
That's
which
right.
is tomorrow or Sunday?
Saturday, I believe.
All right, 2 days from now.
Yes.
You want to do the Bethesda Bagel Air for us?
Bethesda Bagels, we love them. You will as well. Just go to BethesdaBagels.com for the location in the DC area nearest you. Then pop on in, and you'll be thrilled.
And before we get to the mailbag, let me just say, she said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see, but I wandered through my playing cards, would not let her be. One of 16 Vestal Virgins were leaving for the coast, and although my eyes were open, they might just as well have been closed. This is Procol Harum. This is a whiter shade of pale. Because Binghamton University is technically in Vestal, New York. We used to love that line when they talked about the 16 Vestal Virgins. You didn't think I would not get that one.
Oh, I knew you would get that one. But I loved it as we were talking about it.
And so it was Lay-Yay-Yay-Da, as
Yes.
the miller told the tale.
Whoever came to the rest of the group and said, yeah, for the next song,
Let's do Chaucer.
Chaucer.
Let's do Chaucer, kids. Let's do Chaucer.
And you know what? It's brilliant.
Thanks to our guests today, Tim Legler and Andy Beyer. Thanks to our sponsors, Rocket Money and Sunday. Remember, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Odyssey. If you get the show on Apple, please leave us a review. Okay. From Scott Holmeyer in Downers Grove, Illinois. Proving I'm too involved with this podcast at first glance, when downloading Monday's episode, I read unlimited crab mallets as something to do with George Mallet, as it's Kentucky Derby time. As an aside to the connective tissue, I watched George when I was in high school and college on WTVD in Durham, North Carolina. I ran alongside George for about half a mile in 5K in 1993, and to borrow from Warren Zevon, his hair was perfect even at a 7:30 a.m. race on a Saturday. Anchorman hair, gotta love it. And Scott ends by saying, eat it, Eric Becker. From Stephen Schramm. Ready to hear from another Schramm, the real bagel speed title holder? With all due respect to Buster, I feel confident that I broke his bagel baking speed record shortly after his departure. His reign, although impressive, was short. The Buster episode was so much fun to listen to, brought back so many fond memories, as well as touched my father, who historically might be considered emotionally hard to touch. I have not had the pleasure of reading Dave's entire email, but I suspect we had polar experiences. I, being a high school student at the time, was not threatened by Buster's strong relationship with my father. I finally had a big brother. Dave and I had a strained relationship growing up, not a lot in common. Buster became a quick favorite within our family, as well as the Bagel Stop family, due to his kindness, wit, and work ethic. Some of my fondest memories with Buster involve bagel delivery pickups, basketball, and wiffle ball. I've never witnessed anyone over the age of 12 slide so often in backyard wiffle ball. Buster is the most competitive dude I know. Unfortunately, life seems to get in the way of staying connected. I have not seen or spoken with Buster in a while. Hope your podcast can be credited with us reconnecting. Isn't that nice?
That is lovely.
From Spencer in Seattle. A few years back, my cousin solicited myself and other family members to purchase tickets for a raffle for their children's T-ball league was running. I was delighted to get a call the next week saying I won third prize, and even more so when they told me it was a Yeti Tundra 75. With this $400 prize going to the third place winner, it occurred to me, and he asked, ma'am, what were the first and second prizes? To which she responded, second place won a big green egg. That's $1,000.
Yeah,
that's
a huge T-ball
big green
prize.
egg. And first won an Angus calf. A 21-year-old college student at the time, I was thankful to have won the prize that I did because I would have no idea what to do with a living, breathing calf.
Yeah.
And two, I was excited to show off the fancy new beer cooler to all my friends. Today, however, I would love the return on a 7-year-old Angus cow. Wonder if Buster Olney has ever raffled off his cattle. From Gordy in San Diego, California. Chuck and Roxy, episode 217. Catching up on the pod is the new game, How Many Chickens Do You Have? I've got 2 thighs in my freezer. I guess that puts me at 1. Probably outside the top 20 in that category. Tim Walker in Indianapolis. I was thrilled to hear Tony Beeson recount the story about the memory demonstration that Jerry Lucas would frequently display. Wait till you get to the next sentence on this one, kids. My father, Paul Walker, was Jerry's high school coach at Middletown High School. Luke led the Middies to state championships his sophomore and junior years and didn't lose a high school game until the state semifinals his senior year, a streak of 76 straight wins. Luke's mind was always active. He liked to imagine the rim as a clock face, and he would study where the ball would carry him at 3 o'clock versus 9 o'clock. Frequently, he would practice this by putting up shots that would intentionally hit different points of the imaginary clock and note the ricochet. This would confuse onlookers watching him missing multiple shots in a row and wondering if he had lost his shooting touch. I believe he's one of a handful of players to win championships at the high school, college, Olympic, and professional levels. Jerry Luke is one of the greatest high school players of all time.
Yes.
From John Decker, Burke, Virginia. I heard you discussing holes in one. I've never had one, but my mom has. The 18th of the La Pointe Golf Club, Madeline Island, Wisconsin. Driver on a par 3. Not a big hitter, the mama. That's funny. That's funny, isn't it? That's like great. Not the llama. Not a big hitter, the mama. Yeah, that's funny. Kelly Carden, Ozark, Missouri. When I heard your questioning tone about golf balls traveling down rivers to faraway places, they do. As a firefighter on a water rescue team in the Midwest, I cannot guess how many times I've been out in the rain at night in the middle of nowhere, trying to get some dope who drove into flowing water, only to hear another team member say, "What's with all these bleeping golf balls?" They flow down from whatever pond got flooded at whatever course uphill. Remember, kids, turn around, don't drown. Never drive into moving water.
Yes.
From Daniel Kilday in Austin, Texas. A friend of mine, let's call him Ben, because that's his name, approached me at church and told me he listened to my appearance on the Loyal Littles podcast, episode 212, without knowing anything about the theme. I had no idea that I was a little, he said. I've been watching PTI for years, but was completely unaware that Tony had a podcast until I heard you. It was like this piece of the pie that had been missing until now. So Monday was Ben's first ever experience with your show. And what does he hear? An email from a fellow church member, Mary Faye Randolph, talking about me. I don't know if that's 1 in a million, but it ain't zero. Elliot Olshansky, I need to get to this. In light of your comment about beef on Weck sandwiches not spreading from Buffalo the way that Buffalo Wings have, you might be interested to know that the original name of the Buffalo Wild Wings chain was Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck, or BW3 for short. The Buffalo natives who started the chain originally included Weck sandwiches on the menu, but eventually dropped them, save for a short stint in 2017 to celebrate the chain's 35th anniversary. I guess there's a reason you only get them in Buffalo. Best regards from Suffolk County, where I'm wondering how long it will be before you or Nigel start looking at the emails in the evening and exclaim, every night it's the bleeping chicken. If you're out on your bike tonight, everyone, as always, do wear white.
You shut up,
All right, so we're through 2 Tony Kornheiser podcasts. We're all caught up there. We still have 50% of our fuel. We'll easily get to Belfast. Probably still land there. So next flight I want to do all Ireland, kind of circle the island. So we need one more podcast. I think we're going to do an episode of Bussin' with the Boys, where they will talk about Nebraska football, me being from Nebraska originally, and need every podcast that discusses Nebraska possible. So they also talk about some other things. So here is the Wednesday, May 3rd episode of Bussin' with the Boys.
Hey, Bussin' with the Boys listeners.
What's durability?
But a Bussin' with the Boys today?
Is that DJ? You doing your radio voice?
Ladies and gentlemen,
what's up, everybody? This is Bussin' with the Boys.
Obviously, we have Glasgow coming up here.
Bussin' with the Boys. I'm here with Will Compton. This is episode 219. Let's talk about something very special, near and dear to our hearts, and that's going to be the Chevy Silverado. You know, we are truck guy co-op to a
YouTube Thursday in a while, but that's
his life. How are we feeling?
My sister FaceTimed me, and she's got my niece. Her child is just turned 5 months, and she's just hitting the point where she's starting to be able to laugh. Like, she'll do stuff and laugh, and I'm just like in the middle of the whatever aisle, just geeking out, looking at my niece, just like laugh her ass off from FaceTime.
Hell yeah.
Just made my whole month. So yeah, that laugh, the child's laugh is so infectious. It just made my whole
It really is.
So yeah, that was cool.
People are asking, did you just waste your shout out? No free shout out. People are asking.
I can double down on
But this is a time where we get to shout out something personal.
Yeah, dude, this is just,
what's going on? Yeah.
High vibes, feeling good about life, dude. Because people say it all the time. It's so wild to me that human beings come up to us and they're like, "Hey, you guys helped me through a hard time." Like that dude in where was that? Colorado. He lost his mom, and you helped him through that situation.
Those types of compliments are pretty incredible.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So it's just crazy. So here's a nice little dose of happiness. JP, what do you got? What's going on in your life that makes you just
You know what to shout out.
You mind if I give two?
You can do whatever you want, brother. Yeah, this podcast is for the boys.
Yeah. One of them is I'm hype about the Miami Heat and the direction we're trending in the playoffs. We lost last night, but we were missing, what was that?
Dude, I just love it when fans say we.
Don't listen.
Yeah, we are tied with the Knicks 1-1 right now. Jimmy Butler was hurt. Tyler Hero's hurt. A lot of our guys are out. We still competed in battles. Heat culture is something to be excited about. And I will be at the parade in Miami after we win the championship.
Now, something to think about, too, that you guys have going for you is Frank the Tank has changed his alliance from the Nets to the Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently Frank is a massive curse to any team he's a fan of.
Yeah.
So that's big. That's big for the Heat.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll probably win in 5. The second thing is obvious. The new show that I released 3 weeks ago, Taylor has now joined on, and we're taking over Instagram Live. 100 push-ups every Tuesday for the rest of our lives.
8 p.m. Central.
If you join
the rest of our lives,
if you join in, you have to do 20 push-ups, but you got to be active in the chat, and we'll kick you out if you don't.
Yes, and you figured out how to take people out.
Yeah,
also,
so
which was a
new
bit of an issue because apparently we got hacked last week.
We did get hacked. I did not add that guy.
Yeah, so random dudes like talk shit.
So that when we're listening to the Tony Kornheiser show, the guy who played the bagpipes was from Alexandria, Scotland, which is obviously, looks like anyway, right there in the outskirts of Glasgow. So we're kind of flying over his house right now.
Out there, it was daylight, and we were on at like 9 p.m. It was daylight where he was.
Yo, he was out there somewhere in the world doing his fucking
wide push-ups.
Why? Yeah, that
I did also hit a one-handed push-up last night.
He did. It was
Garrett, go ahead.
Impressive to see.
Garrett, go ahead. I did hit a one-hander. Garrett, go ahead.
Something positive?
Something positive.
Garrett's like, we will be starting next Tuesday sit-ups, 100 sit-ups on Instagram Live.
Squats next Wednesday. Something positive. This week we're celebrating my stepdad's retirement, so that's pretty cool to see somebody reach.
Yeah, we got to shout out Bush.
Shout out Bush. One of the first few guests.
Yeah. We should get him back.
No flash.
We should get him back.
You can get him back for a Thursday.
He could probably say a lot more stuff now about people.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear Bush slap some motherfuckers.
Yeah, dude, nice OG pull.
Yeah. That is an OG.
Nice pull on that one, dude. Butch is the fucking best. How did it go last night?
It was good. He hates being in the spotlight, so it's fun to see him kind of squirm. But he held back some tears, and then did the classic F-bomb to like hide the emotion.
Nothing like a man dropping a unnecessary F-bomb to get away from the vulnerability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was good. Overall, it was good.
It seems like it was like a black tie event, right? Jack said you walked in here like 9 a.m. with the whole suit on.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was here. You guys don't live here? I thought you guys literally lived here.
Positive thing, I rocked a bolo tie yesterday, so that was chill.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was chill.
That's a cool pull.
Yeah.
How'd you feel? Do you feel way cooler doing it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get more and do it every once in a while now.
Yeah, bolos are the vibe, bro.
But it was a last minute pull and kind of worked. Everyone was like, "Hey, nice."
I want to ask you about your kind of like post-nut clarity. You had long hair. You had to cut your hair for this event. Now that the event's over, do you regret your choices or do you feel good about what you did?
No, I usually regret every haircut I get, and this is the first one. I'm like, this feels pretty good.
Yeah. You look handsome.
I'll be going back to the same chick.
Will you?
Yeah.
Good deal. Maybe a mullet next time.
Yeah. Now he's retired, so
mullets are coming back. We're in it. We gotta get.
I think mullets are back.
Huh?
I think mullets are back. I think mullets are the most popular haircut in America right now.
You said that yesterday, and I couldn't tell if you're trying to,
I think you got some internal stuff going on.
No, I feel really good. I'm very happy right now.
Yesterday, I think that's fact. I think it's the most popular haircut in America right now.
But you know how it is when we're around people. Sometimes I get the feeling like, the same thing goes for you. If I say something, you do think, oh, is he coming at me? Do I have to? I feel like a lot of times.
I'll join this space with you. Sure, yeah.
What's happening?
I said I'll join that space with you.
Yeah. Where every once in a while you feel like you got to be on edge with the boy around because, so we do like to chirp.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know.
But my hair was brought up and Will goes, I think it's the #1 haircut in America right now.
I didn't know.
It made me feel like, okay, is he trying something? Now I let it slide because I know it's my boy and if he needs to get one, he can have one, right? But I'm glad we got there. Any chance of a mullet in your future?
No.
God, you would look so funny.
Has the mullet
bro, I got
taken over the
hair. I would look
That's what I'm
like
saying. You look hilarious.
Trash, bro.
Bro,
no chance.
Go back to the roots.
No chance.
Go back to the roots. I'm in my roots right now. I love it.
Yeah.
My wife hates it. Can't stand it. Ask me every other day to cut it. No.
Is the mullet more popular in the fade now?
Yeah, I feel like the fade's been like. Yeah, it is regional.
Ain't culture.
You're not gonna catch this haircut in New York or LA. You catch a lot of fades there.
Oh, you'll catch it in LA.
Oh,
really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice to have Steve's out there.
I haven't been out there in a while. We will be out there at the end of this month.
Potentially.
Real?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Allegedly.
Yes, there are some rumors circulating of the boys being at a movie premiere for The Machine.
The Machine. That'll be fucking cool.
Yeah, that really will be.
Do you have anything you want to talk about? Being proud about?
Fuck, dude, we might have landed a massive partner for football season yesterday, and that's good news. We don't want to spoil the good news. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say who it is, but we believe that we landed a massive partner for football season.
It's twisted, dude. It's crazy how.
And that was fucking that. The vibes were up. And
the vibes were big.
I will say this morning was day one of pushing a little earlier for the workout. Our alarm goes off 5:30. Snoozed once, got out of bed, didn't wake the wife, snuck out of the room. Went, got it in for an hour, back on time, got to get coffee with the fam, got to do that whole thing, and the vibe's been up. I was at a coffee shop doing some work before I came here, and I think it's the new me. I think it's a new me.
Dude, and early, when you commit to an early wake up, doing it, there's really no better feeling.
The only downfall is I ran out of gas.
Yeah.
I didn't start the gas. I called Taylor.
Call me today.
Yeah, I called Taylor like 7:30 because I ran out of gas before, and Taylor was the one who helped me out. You ain't got a gas can, so I figured the boy would get nice, so I'll laugh.
What's the first thing I said to you when you told me we ran out of gas?
I can't remember.
Do you want me to come get you?
Oh, yeah, he was like, Taylor answered. He was like in a deep sleep. He's like, hello. He's like, is everything all right? I was like, yeah, I ran out of gas. He's like, where are you? I was like, hey, it's all good. I got it all covered. I just
the boy, hey, you see
get a
it
nice
though.
laugh. I figured you get
a
a nice
friend you're
laugh
looking for in life.
Yeah.
Just giving myself my own flowers. I'm a great fucking friend, dude. I'm a great friend. Yeah.
But those are the couple things I'd shout out. Especially, yesterday when we heard that news, it's like, let's fucking go. We might potentially, allegedly, rumored. The bus might look different.
Very different. It's going to be a lot louder looking.
Yeah.
There are some stipulations I have in that. And
a lot of excitement.
And I've said it. I've sent a selfie video to this said company. And I told them if the number is correct, I will be getting a tattoo of their company on my body.
On your ass, right?
Not on my ass. You know why. That's the name. It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But maybe an upper hip tattoo.
Not ass, but an upper hip.
Upper hip. Maybe a tramp stamp one. Something like that.
Or around the belly button.
Or just right above the piece.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Just know that sponsors that are out there, my body is for sale.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but I'm willing to sell this thing, dude. I'm starting my own weird little OnlyFans. That's a big one, dude. That was a huge, because we were in that meeting yesterday and it was kind of like, hey, just kind of checking boxes. What's going on? What are we looking forward to?
Looking at where we're going to go for the fall tour, which, by the way, that stuff is getting put together to tailgate, so let us know where you want to go.
This is going to be the most highly anticipated Bus and Bowl of all time. That is one stop we know we're for sure going to. Nebraska, week 4?
Week 4, September 30th, Michigan at Nebraska. The vibes will be up.
High. And I don't want to spoil too much, but we might be doing a live show for that event.
I don't want to spoil too much.
But we might be doing a live show for that event.
On that Friday, the night before.
Fuck, that's going to be cool, dude. That'll be awesome. That'll be fucking awesome.
I'm sure Barry's will be a player at somewhere. I'm trying to get Barstool to go there. I was telling Bryn that Bus and Bowl will be there. Because I know the Barstool College Football Show, I don't think it's happening like that this year. I think they're going to do like watch parties at bars and stuff like that. Like, hey, week 4, Bus and Bowl, throwing it out there.
Oh, another exciting thing that happened in our life yesterday. The boys are so on top of their shit, we're already dialed in for where we're staying for the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how fucking dialed in we are, boys. That's a big
We are
deal.
getting ahead of the game for the Super Bowl.
It's in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Vegas.
So I bet you boys can guess where we're staying
Yeah.
for a whole week. A whole week. We might have to. You think we should? I don't know if we could. They might have some real heavy hitters there that they're like, hey, Mr. One, I hope you understand. Like, it's not going to be like that.
Especially when they realized the dates we were trying to block off.
Yeah, Will had a good little poll, too, being like, hey, text them just the dates. Don't say the reason why we're going.
Yeah.
And I texted Buddy, and he was like, I'll have a suite for you, Mr. Compton, and rooms for the boys. Sorry, boys, you get rooms. But
Yeah.
that's a nice little deal.
Because the minute they go back and like, oh, it's Super Bowl weekend, he's like, all right, kind of already told them, we're locked in.
Yeah. Also, got my max bet up from 20,000 to 30,000. Because you run into a hairy situation, boys.
When you going to test that number out again?
I don't know. I legit in my head thought about going next week, but I'm not going to go next week. I think the next time I'll do it will be May 24th at the Power Slap event, which we will be, those of you listening, the details have not come out yet, but you have the opportunity to earn a chance to get flown out, stay at the Red Rocks Casino, and gamble with Dana and I. All expenses will be paid. People ask about the betting. I saw in one of Dana's comments, and we've talked about this before, about him spotting the individual. If you're looking at...
I'm sure there'll be an allowance that's like, hey, you get, I don't know, I want to throw numbers out there and put pressure on you guys, but $100,000 to gamble with.
Oh my God. You saw the video I sent you?
Just do it. No, I'm not even like fucking out there or anything.
Yeah, just pocket $100,000 and leave. There was I sent Will a video on Instagram yesterday. I'm trying to get Will to dive in and just do it once and see how it goes.
I mean, that video, if it goes like that, there's no doubt.
You gotta feel that a little bit.
I watched that and I'm like, I'm sure that would happen, but again, I'll just, you fucking sit there.
Yeah, dude.
Like, how long do we gotta sweat? How long am I gonna have to sweat?
Right. Would you, I have a hypothetical, because I saw this on Instagram also yesterday, because now my algorithm's all blackjack. Would you do one hand of blackjack, risk $1 million, but if you win, you get $1 billion? Or
what? Just, would I do that?
Would you do that, hypothetical? What is it? Is that not...
Yeah, but I thought there'd be a, like, is somebody giving me $1 million to gamble?
No, you have to gamble $1 million of your own dollars, but if you win, you get $1 billion.
No, absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you lose $1 million.
If you lose $1 million.
Humans are built like they think about loss first, and there's just...
And you double down. Yes. Hypothetically, boys, would you gamble
your entire bank account right now to win $1 billion?
Would you gamble your entire bank account right now to win $1 million?
I personally would not.
AP's out.
I would not. No way, Jose.
Your entire bank account, everything you have, assets included.
For $1 billion? My current
for $1 million, tax free.
Yes, without a doubt. That's, I mean, obviously if I lose, that sucks, but you see my bank account.
What about you, Garrett?
No, I can't lose what I have.
Hey, good on you, Jack. I'm with you. I'm gambling $1 million to win $1 billion.
That you are.
More to lose than I do.
No, I'm gambling just $1 million to win $1 billion.
Yeah, but I feel like you can gamble, like, I think you can gamble $1 million.
Would you gamble 500,000 to win?
It's not the same.
Million? I'm asking you.
Yeah, I know, but that's even high. Like, that's still a higher percentage in my numbers in my world than $1 million is in your world.
Hey, would you gamble 100,000 to win $1 million? I guess what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to find your number.
No.
Bro, bro.
100 grand.
But you could win $1 million. What are you talking about?
Would you gamble $10 million to win $1 billion?
No, I just said I'd gamble $1 million to win $1 billion.
I guess.
No, 10 million would fucking.
Yeah, 10 million would be a debt.
That would fucking hurt.
Yeah, 10 million would.
That would fucking hurt. Like, yeah.
But you do it?
No.
Oh.
But I would.
I thought you just in that minute you talked yourself into it. Yeah, you know what?
No, I wouldn't do that. 10 million for $1 billion? No, but $1 million for $1 billion? Yes.
Yeah, the upside is massive there.
Yeah, 100xing your shit.
100,000 for $1 billion, I would very much consider that.
100,000 for $1 billion, I would absolutely do. And I would try to double down. And I would try to do another hand after that.
Just
you know?
napkin numbers. I feel like 10 million for 10 billion. Would you do that? I I feel like that's more like if I'm doing 100 for a billion.
Yeah. Legitimately, if 10 million for 10 billion, one hand?
Yeah, one hand. $10 million.
Would you feel more comfortable at a best 2 out of 3 or just a one-hander?
I think off rip you would want 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but also, you win the first one. Nah, fuck, I should have done it. No doubt. If that situation came up, $10 billion or 10 million, legitimately, I can't make this decision without talking to Taylor. I would have to talk to Taylor, but I would be, if she was like, go, I'd be like, all right, we're going. Call her. You want me to call her?
But if you fucking won.
What are you about to go? I don't know, dude. The first time I gambled, I called her. I told her I won 40. And I was like, she was like, why did you go for 100? Because I remember I was so scared. I was like, if I lose all this money, like, what am I going to tell my wife? Call her right now.
Okay, I need an honest answer.
Should I tell her the hypothetical of 1 for a billion? Hey, babe. Hey, you're on the podcast right now. You're live. So we have a hypothetical question for you that I said I really couldn't answer unless you and I talked about it first. The hypothetical started with, would you gamble one-handed blackjack, $1 million, but if you win, you get $1 billion? I took the executive and I said, yes, I would do that. However, the question came up, would you gamble $10 million to win $10 billion? But if you lose $10 million.
Are you talking about us specifically?
What you mean?
Yeah, Taylor, because he was trying to...
Circumstantial conversation.
Us specifically, yes.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
I know you.
I feel her on that. $10 million, that's a different kind
What
of...
about $5 million for $5 billion?
Just keep putting the 5.
Maybe. I feel like that would be.
That's all I have to hear.
Does she feel good about the million for $1 billion?
Oh yeah. Taylor, do you feel good about $1 million for $1 billion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, like, whatever you lose, like, you just gotta work that much harder to get back. Like, if you ever gamble enough money to actually, like, hurt us as a family, then we got issues.
Hey, $1 million would hurt. $1 million would hurt bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I know, but $1 billion, Taylor. You ain't lying. All right, I'll talk to you later. Love you, bye.
You have to suit back up.
Oh, fuck, dude. My hands are sweating.
Mine are even a little bit for you.
Yeah. Well, so...
Prestwick approach flipper 82080.
So are you gonna gamble next time we go?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, possibly. I don't know if I'll be out there.
I know, that bums me out.
Cause I got, we gotta take the dozen trivia for everything. The boost pound, the boost ponies, we're in the dance. We're in the fucking dance, dude. Yeah. The booze ponies are in the dance. The booze pound is behind us. Like, I think we are a wagon going into the playoff situation.
What? That's awesome for you. I love that. I hope you guys win. I fucking love that. Yeah, whether you take Garrett or Mitch with you, that's gonna be big.
We're still on that.
Yeah, we talked yesterday. Like, one of you guys is probably gonna have to go with Will, and one of you guys probably have to go with me. But I said I need JP and Jack. That's my lucky charm.
Bryn asked. She goes, "Hey, can you bring Can you bring JP or Jack up to New York like you guys were, don't want to say the word, awesome on the draft show?"
Yeah.
She's like, it'd be good if somebody's up there getting content and, shadowing whoever you guys fucking meet. But I was like, Taylor, who would you want? Who do you want to bring? I'll let you do that. Cause
I'm a cake eater, dude. I want both of them.
Yeah, and then he, in his little bit.
I'll remember that.
Dude, listen, they've been there. They've been there through it. I haven't lost with them. And if I went out there and lost big, how would you feel? If you took Jack or JP?
What do you mean? That wouldn't be the reason why. You get mad at me for you losing.
I gotta blame somebody. I gotta blame somebody, brother. I'm scared.
This is your fault.
Anytime that situation comes up, I get nervous.
I mean, you're playing with straight up house money. You made over $200,000. Like, at the end of the day, you are playing with house money.
Yeah.
If you're like, comp, I lost 150, I'll be like, well, you're up like 60. You gotta look at the positives.
That's not matter.
You're up over $200,000, right?
235, yeah.
235. Oh, so you're up 85. Oh, you're up 85, you're good.
Yeah. That would suck to lose that, though.
No doubt.
Damn.
when we think about what we lose, it just fucking kills us, dude.
Yeah. But it's working through fear. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. You want to talk about something, a brand that people should be fearful of?
Yeah, tell me.
More Labs. Oh, More Labs brand. I don't know about you, but I can't drink as much as I could in college without feeling like shit.
There's no question.
That sentence right there is absolute fact. Even just a few drinks has you feeling like crap these days. In a world where we're being pulled in 1,000 different directions, you can't afford to miss a day. Not More Labs. More Labs created this Nipper Herbs and use code BOYD.
Game changer.
Yeah, man.
The way you feel.
The type of thing, and all I get hangovers, just know that they are 100x'd.
100x.
Ruffling feathers out there, Jack? Anything you got for us?
Holmes is ruffling a lot of feathers.
Specific feathers.
I know. What is there, a warrant out for his arrest or something?
I don't know if it's a warrant or if he's been detained, but yeah, I think it was sexual battery. Can't be good for the Chiefs.
I mean, everybody saw the video. What a fucking idiot.
I haven't seen the video.
You ever seen the video where he just walks up on that chick, starts like making out with her and grabbing her, and she's trying to like walk away or whatever?
Plus, if you're watching, you've seen that video, right? Yeah. As a police officer, how you look at it? Is this cut and dry sexual assault?
Yeah, it's absolutely cut and dry sexual assault.
Arrested.
Especially if she's wanting to prosecute and saying that she didn't want anything to do with it. So at that point, yeah, it is.
Man.
That's tough, man.
Tough look out there.
It's a tough look out there for sure because it seems like Patrick Mahomes does such a good job of keeping his plate clean.
No doubt. And you know it's got to be like, motherfucker, dude. Like, for the love of God, please stop.
Right. Doing the thing. He did the dance and like the Sean Taylor thing.
Yeah.
He's just done a lot of stuff where it's like, dude, come on, bro. Like, his brother's in such a unique like situation. He's a baby goat right now. Like, legit, if he retired right now, he's a Hall of Famer. Cut and dry. There's no argument. And he does, having that success at such a young age, him being able just to like keep his nose clean the way he has. He seems like a big family man. Does a lot of charity. He's invested in a lot of things. Like, he's a minority owner in the Royals. Like, he just seems like he's just excelling at life and doing it the correct way. Now, Jackson, I don't know the kid. I just seen, like, obviously the viral videos that happen. And
the past few years has been a little tough, right?
Yeah, you kind of just shake your head at it, dude. Like, damn, like, he's got to have some respect for his brother. Now, him, I don't know. I don't know how Pat handles that situation behind closed doors, but if I'm Pat, I'm definitely saying something.
You could tell, like, I want to say last year there were reports after the season 2 years ago, going into this past year, that that they all kind of sat down and stuff like that. And whether, I don't even know if he said that those rumors are true or anything, he might have said, no, it wasn't like that or whatever. But you knew something happened because Jackson wasn't doing all the theatrics with the TikToks and everything else that he was doing. He did a couple times, but he was very much less than years before. But that video coming out of him at that restaurant or whatever, I mean, God, man.
And at what cost to be famous? Like, it just seems like a lot of the stuff he does backfires on a negative standpoint. Like,
well, that situation right there, it almost seems like, dude, like, who do you think you are? Like, walking around and thinking you can just fucking...
You hope that it hasn't happened more than once, but what if this opens up and, you know,
right, like that's
where
someone who obviously
come
thinks it's
out.
like big shit walking around in certain cities.
Yeah, that's fucking tough, man.
That's
and it's one of those situations. It's hard to touch because it's like we don't know the kid and we don't know like the whole situation. Seems like she wasn't about it, right? Like she kind of like was like, "Hey, quit." She didn't seem like overly mad in the video, but it was probably she's probably sitting there going, "Hey, it's Patrick Mahomes' brother. I gotta be respectful."
Probably like to me, it seemed like the way she was kind of being resistant to it. Like she was like, "What are you fucking doing?"
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough situation. But there's that, dude. So that's something we just covered on Busting with the Boys. Another thing going on here, Randall Cobb. It seems like the Jets are just doing exactly what Aaron Rodgers wanted the Packers to do for so many years. They seem like they're just bending over backwards for this man, giving him everything he wants. It might be a long play, so he doesn't retire after this year. I don't know, but it seems like everybody on Aaron Rodgers' wish list, besides Odell Beckham Jr., has been answered.
I think you're right. I think you're right about playing the long game. Because I feel like the Packers got a really good deal in that trade, and it would suck if the Jets did all that just for him to play 1 year. You know what I mean?
If he win a Super Bowl, he plays 1 year and retires. It's like, hey, thank you.
For sure.
We won that battle. Let's move on. We brought greatness to the Jets.
Yeah, and how dope is it to be Randall Cobb? Like, dude was a fucking stud. I'm not that he's not a stud anymore, but
he's older.
Yeah, he's just older. He's getting longer in the tooth. But to have one of your boys like A-Rod, fucking, hey, this is my wish list. Telling the Packers we want him back. Being pissed off when they got rid of Randall in the first place. Get him brought back, and then when he goes to the Jets, like, hey, I want him going to the Jets.
Right.
Now you're signing with the Jets, like, you got to be feeling good.
And he probably got the number he wanted. Like, let's say he's worth $5 million for real. He probably got like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Knowing that he knows that Aaron wants him there.
No doubt.
Or it could be the exact opposite.
It's got to be good. It's got to be a good situation to go into, because as a vet, when you're at that age and everything else, and you're just wanting to like chase the championship and being around a good environment, you're not trying to go to just any team and have to like, do the whole recreation of yourself, like earn a spot and everything else. He gets to go in with Aaron Rodgers, kind of know that whole relationship. The Jets are looking at Randall Cobb coming in like, this dude's a fucking dog. Hey, Aaron wants you, we want you. Like, this is, do what you got to do what you want.
And he got what he always wanted, a defensive-minded head coach. Their defense was really good last year. Top 5. They have a young nucleus of players back there that are just going to get better this year. And they're bringing in, the Jets legitimately could be contenders this year.
Yeah, I hope they are.
I hope so too.
I hope they are, man. That's a tough division.
And that's a big win for players in general.
Yeah.
Like, if you got the juice, look what you can do.
Yes.
And then all this, people that are hating on Aaron, like, oh, he's a drama boy, he's all this. Like, dude, I think Aaron's playing chess with everybody right now and winning that battle.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you want Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, and if I don't see any haters in the New York Jets talking about how much of a drama guy he is. Maybe when he was trying to get to the Jets and it wasn't happening for weeks at a time, it comes up, but that's only because you want Aaron Rodgers to be your QB.
Yeah, and when it's quiet, like a big announcement happens on the Pat McAfee show where Aaron Rodgers like, I fully expect to play for the Jets. Then 2-3 weeks goes by, like there's a lot of room for assumption. People can be able to say, oh, it's not because of this or that and all that stuff.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting to me is David Bakhtiari. Because there are rumors that the Packers might release him.
Oh, really?
There's rumors he hasn't
seen him.
He doesn't have a.
No, I'm saying I haven't seen him. Like, I'm curious what you've seen. Like, are there
I haven't seen him. There's no guaranteed money and stuff like that. We had a conversation with him, and you asked him about the potential of being released.
Yeah.
And he's like, kind of, it is what it is. Bach's got an incredibly good head on his shoulders, but if Bakhtiari is released, I mean, he's probably a Jet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Who's
him and Aaron?
Left tackle for the
Micah Becton. Micah Becton was a first-round pick from Louisiana. Huge, massive individual. Had a good rookie season. Everyone was saying this might be the next guy in the NFL. And in the last 2 years, I think he was injured both years, and there was a lot of rumors coming out about his work ethic. And he'd come into camp being 50, 60 pounds overweight. It's kind of like how the O-line community, like rumors go. Like you get into it and you sit in a meeting room and the head O-line coach is talking about X, Y, and Z, and somehow he came up one day. That's how I heard all this stuff. So I don't know how much of it's true, but one thing about this Micah Becton kid is he balled his rookie year, not so much the next 2. He's in a contract year now. And you know how those dudes are that like they're not workhorses. They're not grinder dudes, but when they have the talent, they get a contract year, they usually ball the fuck out.
Right, because it's bag year.
It's bag year.
It is bag
so
year.
He might ball out. He might ball out this year.
But all to say is Bach, that could be a landing spot if you were to be cut from the Packers.
Yeah, in that situation, it's like, what do you do with Becton? Because I think he's like taller than me. Can you look him up? Micah Becton. I think I'm saying his name.
What would you do? What would you do with that situation? You're like, all right.
Trade him, or if he'll go play right tackle. He's tall. He's 6'7". He's my height. How much does he weigh? I mean, 6'7"'s tough to play at guard.
364.
Yeah, and that's from what I've heard. I heard he showed up to camp last year over 400 pounds.
It's got to be tough being that fucking big, bro.
He is a massive fucking human being.
If David Bakhtiari does for some reason go to the Jets, I think it's safe to say that Aaron Rodgers is officially the Adam Sandler of the NFL.
Yeah.
We've got a grown-ups 2 situation on our hands. So who's coming next, really?
That's a good pull. Just brings all of his boys. Dude, man, wouldn't that be something?
He becomes a Jet.
It'd be dope if they win a Super Bowl.
You got a good squad, the Jets do.
Oh yeah, they got a team. I think they're gonna win the AFC East. AFC East.
Yeah, I mean you got with the Jets, the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Yeah, I think
Patriots might get 4th in the division.
Yeah, I think Patriots do get 4th in division. I think we're looking at it from a chaos perspective. Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
That's solid. That's solid. I don't know if I want to crown the Jets just yet.
No. I thought it was strictly chaos.
Yeah, the top. Yeah, definitely the top two. You got. I think from chaos, Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. I think the realistic, I guess, chaos, Buffalo, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. I think Patriots are 4.
Patriots are 4.
Patriots are 4.
Because there were rumors in the draft that the Patriots were looking to get a quarterback.
Yeah, I think a lot were. There was that rumor that came out. I saw one today that the Titans were looking to trade up to that 3 spot if Stroud was still there.
3 spot, and then I heard that the Titans were also trying to trade him late in the first round.
Yeah.
To get Levis. So
they ended up getting him. But yeah, I'm with you on that AFC South train. I think the Jets. I think it's a race between the Jets and the Bills, man. It's a race between the Jets and the Bills.
I mean, the Dolphins. You can't count the Dolphins either. They have a good team.
I think you can count them out.
And just like that, the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Just like that, dude.
I don't think that fucking curse is real. I don't think that curse.
I mean, bro, you did a wild number last year.
But that was truly like I was trying to make a hot take, and I was wearing the silver and black, and their direct rival is the Chiefs. But the Chiefs were winning Super Bowls, and they were a really good team. Like me just saying that, I don't think maybe it was me saying it. That's why they won the Super Bowl.
You have that kind of power. Look at the microphone. Your microphone's massive, dude.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think if I just say fucking Miami's out of it, I don't think that propels them at all. I don't think that curse is real. I don't think that curse is real.
I think the Jets and the Bills both make the playoffs this year.
That's fair. I think that's fair to say.
Regardless if it's 1 or 2 where they are, who knows?
Bills are going to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, it's a failure. I think the Jets have to see it the same way, because if they don't make the playoffs after doing all these moves to acquire Aaron Rodgers, that is a fucking failure.
That's a failure. Yeah, the Jets have a whole new expectation on them that is dramatically different than the last 10 years.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, he was like the 17 we got here is very similar to the 17 I used to have.
I saw that.
That's like kind of a lot of pressure on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
What year is
But
Garrett
it's also
Wilson?
dope.
Sick, so sick.
To get
Especially
fucking
in the
compared to
offseason.
Devontae Adams, yeah.
Offseason, it's all good.
Everyone's great in the offseason.
Yeah. The Jets remind me of like the Cleveland Browns. Like 2 years ago, they had like a 3-year span where everyone's like, these are the Super Bowl contenders. They got this guy, their defensive line, all of this shit.
Right.
And then nothing really, obviously, never really happened. But
when you have that cornerback,
bro, you got Aaron Rodgers. Like he really is just him like that.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
Who knows, dude? Who knows what's gonna happen there? I hope mass chaos ensues.
Did you see? I hate even bringing his fucking name up.
Don't got to.
Antonio Brown not paying his arena football players.
No, I didn't see that.
God, dude.
Why is Antonio Brown owning an arena football league team?
I don't know.
Trying to pour back into his hometown, bro.
Why does the circus continue to happen? The show must go on.
Yeah, dude. I feel like we're getting a little.
I mean, it's a fucking clown show, bro. Like, there's always some new article coming up with AB.
And it's never good.
It's never good. At the end of the day, elite wide receiver.
Elite.
One of the best of all time.
Probably could still play.
Yeah, one of the best of all time. But as far as everything else, fucking absolutely not.
Yeah, man, he just seems like... It seems like ever since that Devontae Perfect hit. Devontae's?
I know, everybody plays into that.
I know, that's more of a joke.
Yeah. Ever since that hit,
like,
he's been on that can't get right.
Even before that, dude, like I think it was 2017, like that Pro Bowl, before the game, Antonio Brown didn't show up till 5 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah.
Put all his stuff on
But some of the boys, like, that were his teammates, would say that's how it is. And
how it is.
Steelers, too. Like, fucking Mike Tomlin deserves not only a Hall of Fame jacket, but another medal to go on top of the jacket.
Mike Tomlin.
For keeping Antonio Brown reeled in.
Underrated, one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah.
Dude, he had Le'Veon Bell then, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of shit to deal with, and he kept it going for a while.
Fucking together,
Always
man.
contenders.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Hey, shout out Tomlin, dude.
He's never had a losing season.
He is cool as fuck.
That is crazy.
Too.
And
we should get him on.
Dude, he would be awesome to have on. Tomlin is, I have so much respect for that man. He is an all-time thing.
Maybe we try to go to Pittsburgh for training camp.
Yeah. Maybe we can go play for the Steelers.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
RC to go with us?
Just take our talents to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ensure them a winning season.
Yeah. Guarantee them a winning season.
Yeah. I wonder when we're both actually officially done playing, how long we keep that going.
We can keep it going forever.
Oh, Willie needs to go at least a few more decades before just a retirement.
Just at the age of 49, I just stepped to a podium like,
Hey, I heard you don't, who was I talking to? I think it was Mawai. Is it Kevin Mawai? Head coach of Lipscomb, right? I was talking to him, and he was talking about retirement and all how his situation went because he got cut. And they have to give you a reason why you get cut. The team gives you a reason why you get cut. And the reason why I was like, he's not as good as some of the players, but like they didn't have any fucking players. Anyway, he was saying you don't even sign. You don't sign to retire. There's no actual letter that you...
We'll draw one up. You know what I mean? Like,
legal guy. You got a legal guy back there, yeah.
The league's already trying to push me out. I got some severance pay not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you. Hey.
Got a severance check in the mail. Nice check, but
nice check.
Hang on now. Y'all trying to force me to quit? Put that little red flag up on the mailbox. Come get this.
Hey, speaking of our legal guy, we did already touch on the Bussin' Bowl, but we got to get that officially official.
Yeah.
It's got to start with Nebraska's AD.
Trev Alberts.
We got both head coaches now. It's got to get done relatively
I'll say it last year, but obviously some stuff happened and it was bad timing. But I will say it again and double down. Like, Trev's a boy. I think we'll get that right.
You get that right. I mean, if you get that right, there's no reason why Michigan's AD shouldn't sign that.
Yeah.
And the trophy's sitting in Michigan's trophy room. Like, they accepted it.
But, here's the hurdle. They did C&D us for the merchandise.
Two different things,
but still.
Yeah, but, Michigan can be like that sometimes, dude. And that's the University of Michigan, not the football program. Not the athletic program.
But when you're going up to the AD, you're starting to get into that white-collar world.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'm the most disappointed on this bus because of that. That was tough to see. Then really we can blame Tom Brady for that, right? I mean,
because he gave so much attention to us when we did the fucking...
We need Tom. We love Tom. But Tom is a big reason why we got that C&D, which is wild. The number one Michigan man of all time.
Supporting another Michigan man. Yeah. One of the best of all time.
I appreciate that. I don't think so, though.
And you would think that Michigan they'd want to support it.
Yeah.
Instead we get the C&D.
C&D. That was a tough pill to swallow. Super Bowl week.
Not to continue to pile on and pour salt in the wound, but we got Michigan or Nebraska's people saying like, hey, we want to give you guys licensing rights to make merchandise for Nebraska.
Yeah.
In stores on campus.
I know.
Bookstore. In the bookstore.
The only way I can twist that in my head is to say that one program's a little more starved than the other. One's a little more desperate than the other right now, as far as the program goes. Listen, I'm fucking
fair. I'm not gonna there's reasonable justification to say something like that. There really is. Like, you need to keep the flame hot, however it can be hot, right?
I mean, it's the biggest rivalry in college sports. I can't give Nebraska flowers all the time. Like when Michigan's not playing Nebraska, they got my flowers. They have my support. I will watch and support them against any other team.
Bro, I'm telling you what, if we pull together a winning season, if Nebraska's winning, the world needs to fucking look out, bro.
Can you please, without being as biased as possible, give us a reasonable record you think they'll have?
I don't know.
Best case scenario.
I don't know if it's
Best
time for
case
that.
scenario. Pull up the schedule.
I don't know if it's time for that.
Pull up the schedule in here. It's May. Dude, these are always the best podcasts, dude. Those of you watching right now,
I will go ahead and go through this. All right. I will truly try and do this as good as possible. I just want everybody to know, like, this is truly from my heart.
What broke?
That light up there.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Is this it?
Yeah.
North Dakota.
No, that's last season.
We already whooped North Dakota's ass. All right, Minnesota. We're starting the season off with the dub. We're starting the season off. That'll be a tough game. Don't make no mistake.
Non-bias.
On the road. Make no mistake about it. That'll be a tough game. Week 0 in Minnesota.
Minnesota ain't like that, dude.
Yeah, they lost their running back. Like, look, Nebraska 1-0. Colorado, I've been out there saying it 2-0. Too many transfers. It's going to take a minute for Dion to get that ship turned around. I think it happens for Colorado in the middle of the year. Nebraska 2-0. Going into Northern Illinois, I think we dust the fuck out of them pups. Now we go to Louisiana Tech. There's no reason we can't be 4-0 going into the Bussin' Bowl.
Okay. I'll do mine next.
Go, okay. Michigan, Nebraska. Okay. This is where I will go ahead and say.
Here it goes, dude.
What? This is where I will put my sword down and say.
Home game.
It is a home game, and there will be a lot of hoopla around it. But in this situation, this is where I will say. We're winning last drive of that football game. We're going 5-0. We're going 5-0. And here's where I think we drop one. I think we drop one at Illinois against Bielema. I think he's got a good program.
You guys are so high from the beat.
We're so high we start believing the hype. I think this is where we get humbled. Illinois, we lose.
You're so fucking dude.
Northwestern, we whooped them nerds' ass. We are going, what is that? 6-1. We need 6-1 against Northwestern. Purdue, I think this will be a tough game. I do think we sneak this game. Oh, it's fucking Purdue, dude. We can't beat the Boilermakers after going 6-1. If we're 6-1 going facing Purdue, we're gonna beat Purdue. 7-1. Nebraska, Michigan State. At Michigan State, I can see us having again. I think we're drinking our Kool-Aid a little bit too much. That's where I think we lose one. 7-2.
East Lansing a tough place to play too.
East Lansing a tough place to play, and I respect their program. I respect their coaching staff they have out there. Nebraska, Maryland. Look, there's no world where Maryland ever beats us. Ever. Nebraska over Maryland. Nebraska, Wisconsin. I have the EFs against Wisconsin. Luke Fickell, I think he's going to build something good over there. I think this is where it gets tough. I think we lose to Wisconsin. Let's go ahead and say, what is that? What's that record?
7-4.
8-3.
What?
No, we're 8-3. We've lost 3 right now. Michigan State, Illinois.
These are looking at the Capital One Bowl right now.
And Wisconsin. Iowa. I think we beat Iowa. Rivalry week, to go to the Big Ten Championship, we beat Iowa 9-3 going into the Big Ten Championship. That's what I think happens in the regular season. You can wait to hear my picks later on in the year when the season concludes, but I think we're going 9-3. I think 9-3 is something that we can be realistic about.
That's your best case scenario.
Yeah, I'll say that. Fuck it.
Go back up for me.
That's gay how you get the comment on Nebraska.
Why? We pull up Michigan. Let's hear Will. Let's hear Will's bit about how Michigan's going to go 6-6.
I think you guys are going to have a good fucking year, bro. You know I'm big blue.
You think Michigan and Nebraska play in the Big Ten Championship?
Good. If you guys beat Ohio State.
That'd be so epic.
Yeah, I think.
Two Bussin' Bowls.
Yeah, that's on y'all. Y'all got to get past Ohio State. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
All right. Michigan versus Eastern Carolina.
Dummy.
Done. UNLV. Done. Bowling Green. Done. Rutgers. Done. Nebraska. It's not going to be close. Done. Minnesota.
Time out. Put a score. How bad you going to beat Nebraska? You said it's not going to be close?
I think we'll cover like we did last year. That's how bad I think that.
No. Because we could be undefeated and the spread could be like 8, and you're like cover. You just said no, done, and won't even be close.
It'll be a double-digit win. Could be 10. Could be 40.
So you're saying 10 plus?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a math.
That's
not
what
even close.
Let's say Minnesota, it's not close. Indiana, it's not close. Michigan State, it's not close. Purdue, we're talking about Purdue, not close. Penn State, at Penn State, that's a tough one. I say a lot of lost players this year. Michigan wins that one as well because at this point we're talking about going into the national championship. They've been there twice. These boys know what to do. They know how to handle it. Maryland is the scariest game on this schedule. The scariest one.
Why is that?
You just came off a big win from Penn State. You're 10-0, and you got to play Ohio State next week, and that's the biggest rivalry in college sports. I think they win that game. They don't cover, and it is close. And then we do the same thing to Ohio State we've done in recent
12-0? So you're saying 12-0?
I'm saying 12-0 season.
You want to know what I think?
Go ahead.
8-4. That's what I think.
8-4?
Yeah.
The same record?
No, we go 9-3. It ain't the same record, brother. We're 9-3. You're 8-4 this year.
Those first
6.
What a cake schedule. We're 12-0 too.
We've earned it. We've earned that, dude. We fucking earned that. That's tough, boys. There's no way. I will put any amount of money that Michigan beats Nebraska this year.
118.77.
Okay, go bet it.
What's that? I do $1 million for $1 billion, absolute.
Guess what?
A straight up win.
You might have the opportunity to do that. Yeah, you might have the opportunity. You won't have to look at anybody and bet anybody. You can put up. We'll figure out the amount. Like, hey, write it right here on this.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Gotta go to Vegas a couple more times. Make sure we hedge those bets. But yeah, I think this is a 12-0 season. I think your scariest games are Maryland because of where it's placed.
What do you think Ohio State's going to do this year?
I think they go 10-2.
Who do you think they lose to?
Us, and they play Penn State. Yeah, if they play, I like to see their schedule, their non-conference schedule too, because there might be a little sneaker in there. Ohio State.
Notre Dame?
No, they'll beat Notre Dame. Ohio State, Indiana, dub. Youngstown State, dub. Western Kentucky, dub. Notre Dame, dub. Maryland, dub. Purdue, dub. Penn State is where it gets iffy. The only time I see Ohio State losing is the last game of the season and to Penn State. 10-2. Yeah. Especially,
year.
If Michigan State, if it was at Michigan State, I might think they go 9-3. But Columbus is a tough place to play. It's loud there. And those fans go fucking hard.
Yeah, they go nuts.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I like it.
Nebraska one more time for me.
I'm getting excited, man.
Because I'll tell you exactly what Nebraska's going to do this year.
Okay.
Nebraska, Minnesota. Here's what I think about Nebraska, Minnesota, and Colorado. I think they split. I think somewhere they split. Hopefully, they lose to Minnesota and beat Colorado. So I'm saying 1-1. Northern Illinois, 2-1. Louisiana Tech, 3-1. Michigan, donkey. That's going to be 3-2. Illinois. At Illinois, it's not a tough. We're at 3-2 right now. Illinois is 3-3. Northwestern's 4-3. Purdue. Have to play in Nebraska. I'm gonna go. Okay, so we're 5-3. Michigan State 5-4. Maryland 6-4. Wisconsin. You're gonna split those last two games. That's gonna be, what is that? 7-5. I think if Nebraska goes 7-5 this year, they should be so excited about the future of their program.
Oh, we will be.
7-5, making a bowl game. It's the first time since 2005.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Wait.
Listen.
You said first time since 2005. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You guys made a bowl game?
Yeah.
What was it, 2000? There was a stat that came out, I thought.
Yeah. Do you not remember us playing? What did we play back in 2005?
Us playing, yeah. What are you talking about?
2012.
2012 was the last time you guys made a bowl game.
No, 2016.
Oh, 2016.
Came in, hung that L. Balls.
We lost to the Vols?
Yeah. In Nashville.
What was the 2005 stat I saw then? Was that the last time they've won a bowl game?
No, because they won in 2015.
I don't know what I was thinking then. 88.
They actually beat Michigan in 2005 in a bowl game.
In a bowl game?
Alamo bowl game.
That's weird.
Yeah, the last time we've played in a bowl game. Dub.
No, you lost Tennessee.
No, Michigan played Michigan. Last time we played Michigan in a bowl game.
Man, I gotta keep up with this fucking podcast, dude. Yeah, I think 7-5. Pretty outstanding for Nebraska.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't mind a 7-5 here. I was just giving my optimistic opinion.
9-3.
We can go 9-3.
You could.
Yeah, we got fucking Justin Sims. Jeff Sims. I know, but it's so funny that if somebody's like, yo, Will just says Justin for every first name.
Should we go fan questions?
What do you got up?
We only have one more if we want to.
Bust that an ad.
Bust that thing up, big dog. That Barstool house.
Let's talk about our merch for a little bit, boys and girls. It's been a good couple of months. Shout out Garrett for making all those things happen. You see me wearing this right now. I'm wearing the Barstool Bussin' Golf Club, and I'm also wearing the For the Boys, a classic boy right here. This thing's pretty outstanding. We gotta talk about the dad hat. We were doing Girl Dad Hat for a while. We know there's a lot of dads out there that watch the podcast that have boys. So listen, prayers have been answered. We now have a dad hat. That thing is fire. Obviously, our Girl Dad Hat, our Girl Dad Tee, and our Girl Dad crew neck. We're still pretty heavy on the Girl Dad category, but we have the boys out there that have both, or maybe just a boy. Got your dad hats right now. You can shop now at store.barstool.com. We need this. You guys keep doing stuff like this. Keep watching these episodes. Keep subscribing, unsubscribing, resubscribing, and then buy the merch. Boys, the possibilities are absolutely endless. And it's a shameful ask for me to ask you to spend your hard-earned dollars on our merchandise, but I can promise you 2 things. You're going to look fantastic. I can promise you 3 things. You're going to look fantastic. You're going to feel more confident because you're rocking some dope-ass merch. And the 3rd thing, let's be honest, dude. You help us do things, we can do more dope stuff and we all experience the same together. We're with you when we're out there doing the cool shit. It's going to be absolutely outstanding. So that's really it. Jackie, let's get to some fan questions.
To tack on, shout out G again. I'm not kidding. This is one of the most comfortable hoodies you will ever wear. And it's like a summer hoodie. It's not too thick. It's light.
Yeah.
Wear it on like a night when it's got a little breeze going. These hoodies, I swear you will never regret buying. It's like a little blanket for me. I just put it over the shoulder. I'm not even gonna wear it today, but I gotta keep it close to me.
Just in case it gets a little chilly, maybe there's a breeze.
Yes.
You talking about the hoodies they sent me and Taylor?
These, the golf. These are fucking sweet.
You took one?
Well, yeah, Garrett told me.
Garrett is the merch guy. I got a little argument with Minnesota's Barstool on Twitter, and they had these shirts that come out like life's better in Minnesota. Here's the reality, it's not. Minnesota is not a destination spot for anybody. There's 2 seasons there. There's winter, and then everybody rushing, trying to fix everything that got broken during the winter seasons before the next winter comes. That hoodie right there, that summertime hoodie is going to work perfectly in Minnesota. You guys are going to be glad you bought it. So fucking get after that. Get after that.
I hear a lot of good things about Minnesota in the summertime.
Minnesota's beautiful in the summertime. The 3 months you get to do it, it's amazing. But no one retires in Minnesota. No one does. Right? Right? Okay. Well, I want to fucking hear, dude. Let's hear some fan questions.
Alright. First fan question coming from _Tfish. If you both worked at the same McDonald's for 1 month, who could work their way up to manager fastest and why?
Go ahead, brother.
I'd say myself. And I think the reason why is, did you put me on the mic talking to those people? Welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? We're having absolute conversations. We're making people feel better than when they got there. They might have a tough day. They might think I need to spoil my tummy a little bit with some of this delicious McDonald's. Have a McFlurry. Guess what? When Daddy's on the mic, that ice cream machine's always open. It's always ready to rock. So you want the McFlurry? I'll clean that motherfucker myself. Make sure you're getting everything you need because we all love the McFlurries. Come around that corner, we're shaking hands, we're having a good time. You're having a blessed day as you drive through thinking, hey, I got better going to this McDonald's and you're going to come back. That's why I think, a management spot would be there for me. Will?
Maybe. I think right on the mic is where you belong. I think if I was the manager, you'd be the perfect guy on the mic. I'd be like, hey, Taylor's running drive-through 24/7. We'll give you a little pay raise. We'll give you a little bump.
A little bump?
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
would you put me to?
I'll tell you what's the minimum right now. What's minimum wage?
$15 an hour.
15. I'll throw you 16 and a quarter.
Hey, Will can have the management job. I want that shit. 16 and a quarter? Let's fucking go, dude. I vote for Will for management. I vote for Will for management. Next question, Jack.
Just put us against each other right away.
This kind of falls in line with some current events, but who is a dream sponsor for the bus?
There's no free
Something
shout
you
out.
want to see? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to say it.
Because our heart's been broken. Like, times where we've
skip this if y'all don't want to.
Times where we've wanted certain sponsors, whether it's a beer or anything else, our heart gets broken. Because we talk about why things would be such a good fit. So it's tough to shout out somebody that they know, oh, we got these boys. Like, let's just throw them some product. I'm sure they'll be happy. Type of thing.
And we love free shit. Don't
We
get us
do.
wrong.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
There's been some cool sponsors out there that have been talked about and just didn't fucking come through.
But don't get it twisted. There are some out there that we would enjoy.
There are some big ones out there we would enjoy.
Yeah.
I think the next sponsor coming on in the fall is going to be the one.
It would be awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
But as far as that fucking
Right.
white whale,
I don't know about a white whale, but I know one in our heads that we both were at Barstool last week, and we were, hey, this right here is awesome.
I know that you didn't fart, but that's so funny.
You make a fart noise around Will, dude, he will laugh his ass off.
But the timing, too. We were at Barstool last weekend, and then you just hit it. Yeah, but I don't know if that one's like a white whale.
No, it's not, but it is one that I think would fit us if we use it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I could probably say
that one. Can we say that one?
No, I wouldn't, because no free shoutouts.
I know.
It's part of the foundation of our podcast. But we use it every single day.
We've talked about them before.
Yeah, we have.
We do use them every single day, but yeah, I guess no free shoutouts.
That would be cool. But what about one brand that you just know is never going to sponsor us?
I think we can. I think we're out there, bro. I think we could.
But you know, like Lamborghini is never going to sponsor us.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So like Rolex.
Yeah, Rolex would be one. That was the one in my head.
Like Webster Marion.
If Rolex sponsored us, that'd be fucking awesome.
Porsche.
No, Porsche ain't it, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll take a Chevy Corvette over a Porsche any day.
I'm just trying to think of that big European fucking brand.
Yeah, like a Bugatti.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening, brother.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
But I'd rather have Chevy, dude, because if we were sponsored by a company like Bugatti, it just wouldn't fit the brand.
Yeah, it really wouldn't.
No,
it really wouldn't. But if there's
like a perfect partner for us,
if brands are smart, let's play armchair GM for fucking brands. I think if brands are smart, I think candy needs to look at us. I think fast food needs to look at us.
Gas stations need to look at us.
He said leaky gut. No, but I'm saying as much as Taylor and I, we've all argued about whether it's burgers, fast food, any of that stuff. I think if fast food would be smart to partner with the boys.
And a flip of a coin too, like we are into health and wellness. So you just said all the non-healthy things, but I think there's some healthy brands out there that we use on a daily basis that I think would have a lot of success with us.
Yeah. I know I mentioned like unhealthy stuff, but I'm just saying if I were in those sales, like if I were in those rooms and you're looking for brands and you just have a plethora of fucking money, that you just print money.
Right.
You know you're going to be in the game forever, and you're trying to look at those brands that are going to influence, that are going to lean here, lean there. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go bust with the boys.
That's a great point. That's why you got the management job at McDonald's. Right there. I'll just sit on that mic, boys. I will just sit on that fucking mic. What else you got, Jackie?
This is a fun question.
Ooh.
This comes from our guy at Skurs15. If you could stop one crime forever, but in order to do that, you have to commit the crime, what crime are the boys stopping?
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Well, the first thought is murder, right?
Yeah.
But then you lose your life.
Oh, we lose our life or we commit the crime?
No, you commit the crime.
But do they have to do the time for the
If we get caught.
You're the cop.
You are the cop, boss.
Here's the one that you really want to stop, but you can't do, or wouldn't ever want to do, and that's the guys with kids, right? That's the number one thing. It's like, what are we doing?
Fuck, I was trying to figure out where you were going.
It's like,
dude, but I'm saying,
yeah, that's a bad question.
But I'm not committing that to save that. But also, you're like,
Taylor,
it's fucking a deal.
That's what you do?
No, I said I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying that's the shit you want to stop. But I'm not committing that.
I didn't even know that was in your brain.
What, trying to save children? Sorry, brother. I'm out here trying to save the kids, dude. The youth. When you have kids, you see that danger out there. It's the scariest thing on earth. That shit happening. The scariest possible thing.
I would definitely want you to do that one so that would stop. Oh, fucking.
You got the management job, dude. Like, take this one. But take this one.
That's
right?
Fucked, yeah.
But I would,
murder. I don't know, somebody.
Yeah, murder.
For the betterment of the fucking world.
Yeah.
For the betterment of the world.
Absolutely murder. Because the other stuff's too dark.
Somebody we're at war with that we need to take down, that's who I'd fucking murder.
Putin.
Request clearance to transition.
Theo, man. Oh, no, I mean, I wouldn't murder Theo. But you just said Theo, and the boy's been quiet. He wanted to start fucking beef, and now he's been really quiet.
He has been quiet.
He lets his little dick riders out there fucking...
Yeah, they ride for him. They're all out there in Louisiana, too. There's a few of them out there in Louisiana.
They ain't nothing about that. So yeah, it makes sense that they weren't.
Ain't nothing to do with it. They were trying to insult me and Will. I couldn't understand a fucking word they were saying.
Yeah.
Couldn't understand a damn word they were saying. At the end, he needs to get his game up, dude. He hit a CTE joke and an injury joke on us, and he thought it was over?
Yeah, he's been gone ever since.
Yeah. Fuck deal.
There's one more question that I feel like we could incorporate a fun game with, but it's just what game show would you guys feel most confident on to win? And I have...
Taylor and I are a duo?
Yeah, or you can go against each other, but I'm pulling up a online Family Feud if you guys wanted to run one round just to see who would...
I don't know if Family Feud would be the game. I think it'd be something where Taylor and I... It's like you gotta understand the inside language, like a charades or fucking...
What is the game we always played? It's a game within a game within a game?
Those aren't games.
Code names.
Code names.
Yeah, dude. Will and I
like
crushed code names together.
Those are board games. I'm talking like a game show.
Game show?
Like The Price is Right, Deal or No Deal, Family Feud. Yeah.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
We're not gonna make it past the... We wouldn't make it past the fourth round because I think you get 3 lifelines. Yeah.
Hey, what's the game like back when it was like on Nickelodeon? Hidden Temple?
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
What's that? Pull that up.
The Hidden Temple. I think Taylor and I would do good in that game.
Yeah. This guy.
Legends of the
I remember this game, but what's the premise?
You get to like go in
it's almost like
an obstacle course.
Kids.
Yeah, like an obstacle course, and then you're like going in this temple, and you're trying to like find these.
Would Survivor be?
What are the pieces called? It's a fun game too. I think we do solid at that.
Oh, it's coming back.
Artifacts. Is it Artifacts? The Legends of the Hidden Temple was my fucking jam as a kid.
What about like Survivor? Would that be considered a game show?
Like a team one?
In there? I mean, you bring back, what's the shit that Theo was in? Road Rules?
Real World Road Rules? I think we do solid at that.
I think we crushed that.
Yeah.
We crushed that. Anything involving ticket and knowing that we had each other's back and like we couldn't fucking backstab each other.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity to backstab is when...
It's when you start flirting with that idea.
Yeah, that's when it become a big issue for us. Because Will and I...
And it's not that we want to backstab each other. It's just that we're so much into self-preservation that we just don't trust the other one.
Yeah, because we would start knocking out contestants, and then when you knew you got to like a top 10 or a top 5, and it was really whittling down, that's when we would let the evil thoughts really prevail.
We'd have to think we have to take the other out because that's the biggest threat in the game.
Yeah. And it's just it's a tip of the cap.
Yeah, it's a tip of the cap. It's a respect move. It's a respectful
thing to do. Like when Will and I play Risk online with the boys, Will and I always are kind of on a team, but we're never on a team.
Yeah.
Because we see one of us getting too strong, and it's like, we got to do whatever we can to make sure this man doesn't win. It's also one of those things where we just hate to see somebody else, one or the other win.
Yeah.
Good questions. I don't think we answered any of them. We have any more questions? Or we going to go to
Hey, run the Family Feud round.
Oh, you want to do it?
We want to do that?
Let's go.
All right, Family Feud.
We are going to be on a team because I think it goes against like a computer. So
does he go first? I go first?
Well, I think so because they give you an option or like a questionnaire, and then you have 60 seconds and you're trying to guess, obviously, like the most guessed answer.
This is the last round, right? Where we're saying, name something that's blah, 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 and you say what word? So Will goes first?
Y'all really on the same
team. We're on the same team.
What if we say something different?
Well, we just have to agree on what we're going to push.
You want to get the highest picked answer.
Dude, fuck Louise.
Round 1.
Round 1, Family Feud. Name some. Go ahead, Jack.
Name something people usually find once they stop looking for
wallet.
I'm good with that.
Whoa, what happened to the monitor?
Welcome back.
Okay, we broke the game.
Wallet was not on there.
Oh! The screen went out.
I know. Something else.
Keys.
Yeah, that's it. Keys, number 1 with 75.
Let's go.
That's a good one, brother. That's a good one.
Another one. You got 30 seconds left.
Comes
on.
Another one? Something you look for? Is something you stop looking for once you find it?
Yes.
If we already got keys, though, we won, right? Because we're at the number 1.
We got to keep going. Phone? Do we say phone?
Say phone.
Not on there.
Charger?
I don't know.
You're not on there either.
You know you're trying to find that shirt. Boys?
Boys. How is Wallet not on there, dude?
We gotta think of something. There's only how many seconds left?
It's done, but we also...
Did your computer go out?
We asked 100 people, and we got the one with 75. We won the round. We got more points than we could have any,
But they get the
won.
steal. If Luisa hits it, then they win the round.
Hit 87, we had 75.
Fuck Luisa, dude.
What did she say? What were the answers?
Let me see. One was like happiness.
That's gay. Actually gay.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Alright.
There we go. We're in.
Alright, here we go. That was a warm-up round.
Yeah, that was one. Name a public place where you might see that word, Jack?
Quarreling.
Quarreling lovers make a scene.
Grocery store.
Yeah.
A park.
Park, yeah, definitely park.
Alright, park, 25.
Amusement park. That's also...
That's park. That'd be park.
Alright, so that landing didn't really work, but we made it to Northern Ireland. We'll flip the plane over and go from there next time on Microsoft World Tour, Microsoft Flight Simulator World Tour.